Deshaun Watson out for the season. What's it mean for the rest of the Cleveland Brown players from a fantasy perspective? What's it mean for the Browns moving forward? We're going to break this down. And what a debacle of a trade and contract for Cleveland. And I don't know that it's going to get better moving forward. Watson's got talent, but this has been a complete disaster and one of the worst contracts and trades in NFL history. Justin Fields set to start week 11, so prepare for that. We've also got a whole bunch of other news. This is going to be, buckle up, this is going to be one of the best shows of the year. One of the most energetic, one of the most action-packed, one of the most helpful win your league type of shows we've produced the entire season. So I hope you're ready. I hope you got your big boy pants on. I hope you're buckled up, buttercups. And we're talking about this man, Achane, who, according to his coach, Miami Mike McDaniel, cannot be tackled in practice. He's ready to rumble for the most part. He kind of, I'll tell you what he said, but in so many words, he's back. We're breaking down that and more, the Fantasy Football Show, week number 11. 8 p.m. edition, breaking news edition show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
We've got a lot to talk about here, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, the news here with Deshaun Watson out for the season, undergoing shoulder surgery. And let me read a little bit from the report here. Watson's lingering shoulder issue, now described as a broken bone, will cost him the season, the final 7 games of the season, according to Tom Pelissero from NFL Network. Watson reportedly wanted to be shot up and play through the injuries, but doctors told Watson his shoulder would fall apart if he were hit again. This has been a disaster. He was 23rd among quarterbacks in EPA per dropback. The team has now paid Watson nearly $91 million for 11 games over the past 2 seasons. This has been one of the biggest debacles in trades and contracts in really NFL history, you could say. Definitely in recent memory. And I feel bad for Browns fans. And I don't want Browns fans to be mad at me. You have a home here. You have a home here to vent. But I don't know that this is going to work out. I'm just telling you right now. And I don't think that's a bold statement. I think this is a complete unraveling. I know he got hurt, and you could say, Smitty, he doesn't look good. He hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked the same. You paid this man an ungodly amount of money, $230 million guaranteed, kind of reshaping the quarterback market, and he hasn't fit the bill. And I don't think he will. This man, Justin Fields, is on shaky ground as well in our eyes, in fantasy football eyes, in NFL scout and analysis, context too. Fields set to play week 11. This report here from Eberflus, Bears head coach, saying that he's progressed well and should be under center against Detroit this Sunday, bearing any setbacks in his recovery. That's great news. We heard yesterday maybe his week 11 availability was in question, but it appears Fields is back. And to be honest with you, this felt like kind of a weird situation, almost like maybe something else was going on, like maybe Chicago was trying to dive as much as they can and get a better draft pick so that they can bring this guy back and maybe not win a couple games, maybe lose a game. I don't know. It seems weird to me because this man's been throwing missiles in practice for over a week and a half. And there was a video footage of him tossing a missile. Any type of report saying he can't grip the ball, he was tossing a missile in practice, and then he didn't play. So I don't know what the hell is going on in Chicago, but it sounds like he's going to play. And for those of you that have this man as your starting quarterback, your starting gunslinger, you got to let it ride. He's got the capability, he's done it twice this year, of being a top 5 quarterback in fantasy football. I'm not saying I'm trusting him fully. I'm not saying I'm super all 100% excited about what he's bringing to the table, but he certainly, if you're in this situation and you can't get out of it, and you can't really sell anything to get another signal caller, or you're just depleting the rest of your team and chances of doing well anyway, you got to ride and die with this man, and hopefully he comes with the thunder. And let me make one point here, is even though he's a mess in some context, right? Of course, nothing's perfect about the way Fields has played all year long, sum total. But there were 2 straight games where he was an absolute fantasy football monster. And he still has yet to run the ball that much at all. So that's one of his biggest attributes. If they let him run, and I don't know how much they'll dial him back, worrying about injury, but if they let this man loose and run the ball, he could absolutely be the number 1 quarterback on any given Sunday, Monday, or occasional Thursday, or occasional Friday or Saturday if it's a holiday. This man can do it live. And so, we're excited to see what he can bring to the table. And this next piece of news is absolutely phenomenal. Miami Mike McDaniel, Coach Mike McDaniel, had some amazing words and some words of caution just to kind of protect himself and cover all of his bases when talking about this man, Achane, walking into Week 11 in his press conference today. He said this man couldn't be tackled in practice. He said this man's energy and motivation was to the moon, in so many words. He said that he was worried about whether he was able to travel with the team when he was injured. He wanted to be a part of the team. The way Miami Mike talked about Achane, you thought he was his son. He thought it was his son, and the way he talked about him being an integral part of the lineup. Let me read something to you just so you understand how much this man, Coach Miami Mike McDaniel, loves this kid, Achane. He said he checked all the boxes in terms of practice and looking ready to come back. He's come a long way in a short period of time. Knows all the plays, the places he needs to be on the field. Every single play. He didn't forget anything. He isn't rusty coming back to the practice field. He's running everything with precision and effectiveness. And he said, it feels like he's not a rookie within the locker room, and that's what the locker room needed. He said he's got no time for rookies at this point in the season. They've got some wins that they need to accumulate. They've got doubters that are crawling down their neck, and beat writers and fantasy football analysts and NFL writers and NFL predictors and a bunch of garbage reporters out there that act like this team's out of it. Act like this team can't come back from the dead, as if they're just unraveling. And yeah, maybe they have struggled playing good teams. That's certainly been the case, okay? The Dolphins play a good defense, a good top 10 team in the NFL. They seem to do badly, but guess what Mike McDaniel's going to do? Go out there and prove people wrong. Guess what Tua Tagovailoa is going to do? As long as he's healthy, he's always one hit away with the concussion stuff. But guess what? It's Week 11. We're not concerned about that right now, right here, right now. In fact, Tua Tagovailoa is one of the better buy low quarterbacks in fantasy football. One of the only attainable top 5 or 6 quarterbacks in fantasy football, attainable via very reasonable trade efforts. Right now, you can go get Tua Tagovailoa pretty cheaply, I might say. You can go solve your quarterback problems pretty aggressively in a very sly fashion, going after a quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, who's very doubted right now. His offense is very doubted right now. Tyreek Hill's been missing for a little bit of time. This guy hasn't been on the field. This guy's a top 5 overall player. And Tua and his head coach, Miami Mike McDaniel, is going to get back one of the most electric players in the National Football League. And if you want to come in here and run your trap about how, he's going to get hurt, he's probably not going to, you don't own him. Tell me you don't own him without telling me you don't own him. Tell me you're a total hater of Achane because you missed the boat. You dropped the ball. When your boy said this should be a player you stash, he's a league freaking winner, and there's nothing that should stand in your way of grabbing this man, stashing him on your bench, even after being a healthy scratch in week 1, on our waiver wire show, the 2 preemptive shows before week 1 and every waiver show since, it's your fault. And if you're a hater in here on Devon Achane, oh, he's going to get hurt, blah, blah, blah. The Dolphins are going to be cheeks. You watch, the Dolphins are mid. This is one of the most dynamic players in the National Football League across position. It doesn't even matter. And this guy's been off the field. What if you took Kelsey off the field? Oh, we saw what happened when you took Kelsey off the field. Mahomes didn't play as well. What if you took a player like Christian McCaffrey off the field? How would Brock Purdy and the Niners play? Oh, we actually saw how they play without Debo and Trent Williams and CMC banged up. Teams don't play to their full potential when they're missing one of the top players in the National Football League. This guy is every bit as important to his team as Christian McCaffrey is to his team. And you can say whatever you want about that. That's no knock on Christian McCaffrey. That is all about this man right here. One of the most elusive and electric players in the National Football League. And every single hater in the world that comes in and draws some hate on that, drips a little hate out here, even on that comment. Oh, did Smitty just call him CMC? Smitty could just call him CMC? CMC? Smitty, what are we doing here? Anybody that comes in here and drips any sort of hate in the chat, in the comments, anywhere about this man being as important to his team than Christian McCaffrey, then you don't know ball. You don't know ball because this guy can't be stopped. This guy, give him 50% of the workload and the timeshare inside a very, very productive attack, and he's going to produce Christian McCaffrey numbers. He's already done it. He's already done it. He continued to do it, and then he got injured. And you can say he'll get hurt, whatever. Just wait and see what happens. Hold our beers, watch us do what we do, and you keep doubting the man you missed on because you got scared. You're a scared Scotty, and you said, I'm not going to go near Devon Achane. He's not going to hold up. Guess what? Now you're a born hater. It's in your blood. Now you're innate. You're an innate hater. It's built into your DNA, and you're going to continue to hate on him because guess what? You don't have him. Can't be tackled in practice. Motivation to the moon. I think it's my job, says Miami Mike McDaniel, to get ahead and say it's going to be this, or to not get ahead and say it's going to be this or that and then have to change it up. He said, but we have been pragmatic. At least Monday, he was unable to be tackled. At all. No one could touch him, essentially, is what he's trying to tell you. This man could not be touched in practice. He was having his way with the defense in practice. Does that sound like a man that can't cut and use his knee properly? Does that sound like a man whose MCL tear is not looking like it's on track? Not to mention, he also said that he felt that it was up to Devon Achane, how he was feeling. Achane wants to play. Achane probably would have played if he could have a week ago. Achane has been wanting to travel with the team and has done so. Achane is excited to get out there. He loves football. He loves his team. He loves his coach, and his coach loves him. And it's up to Achane if he plays. I guarantee you, if he's out there unable to be touched in practice, guess what he's doing on Sunday? He's playing ball. Unless there's some sort of setback, this man's playing ball on Sunday. And that's just all there is to it. So you can be a hater if you want. We enjoy it. We welcome it. Come in and hate all you want, pal. This man is winning leagues, and it begins right now. We don't know about this guy. We know about this guy. We know about this guy, and he's a league freaking winner. We've sent only one player to Saturn officially, and that was Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is our first Saturn inductee astronaut and resident of the planet Saturn. I give you the second Saturn man, the extraordinaire Devon Saturn man Achane
To Saturn.
To Saturn is indeed what we're doing, sending this man to Saturn. Buckle up, Buttercups. It's going to be a wild ride walking into the remaining part of this season. And Achane is going to absolutely crush every single person standing in his way. And I cannot emphasize this point enough. You take a player like this off a team, things are going to crumble in a lot of ways. And for people to judge Tua Tagovailoa, to judge his production, to judge Tyreek Hill even right now, to judge Waddle even right now, to judge even Raheem Mostert right now, to judge Miami Mike and the Miami Dolphins as a whole right now is reckless, ridiculous, and it's going to make fools out of a lot of people. Because as I said, you take McCaffrey off the Niners, what are they doing? They struggled to win with McCaffrey for 3 weeks in a row. What do you think happens to the Niners if you take off CMC off the roster? What do you think happens to Jalen Hurts if Jalen Hurts is removed, or let's say A.J. Brown, because we don't want to remove the quarterback. We want to keep this in equal comparison. You take A.J. Brown off of the Philadelphia Eagles, do you think they struggle? I'll answer the question for you, Bob, and for everybody in the back. The answer is yes. Taking Devon Achane off the field for his team was the same impact, or would be the same impact, as taking off A.J. Brown off of the Philadelphia Eagles. Learn about it, okay? Stop judging Tua and the Dolphins and the way they're playing football right now, and open your eyes, because your mind's about to be blown. Your mind's about to be blown. We've got a lot to discuss right now. We've got super chats flowing in. We've got phone calls are never open, even to Marsman, to anybody. I close them in the monologue section. And then when we get through the beginning portion of the show, then Marsman can get in. And until I open the phone line, nobody else is really going to get in. So if you're dialing right now, you're wasting your energy. We've covered Watson. We covered Fields. We've covered Devon Achane. We've covered all these marvels on screen right here. This is the next topic that we need to discuss, and this is real. This is real, recognizing real. This is your analyst, your boy, your main man coming in to tell you the truth. And the truth isn't always pretty. And it doesn't mean that we're selling Kenneth Walker. It doesn't mean that we don't love Kenneth Walker. It doesn't mean that we are going to try and make a trade no matter what, and we're scrambling because we sense he's going to absolutely decline and be worthless and all that. This is more of a matter of, let's be smart, let's be pragmatic, as Miami Mike has been with his situation. Let's be totally clear-minded and not let any bias enter our individual week-by-week analysis, because if there's anything I teach you in how to dominate fantasy football is to let go of bold predictions. It's fun to ride them out when they're successful, but you cannot cling on to something that is going downward. And I'm very clear about this when players are going downward, but I do believe that they're going to rebound. There's a big difference between saying, hey, I really think Gibbs will be fine. Guys, calm down. I think Gibbs will be fine. And just jumping ship right away. There's a stark difference, and that's really where your ability to get better as a fantasy football owner and manager enters in. You got to start over time realizing when that change in direction, that adjusting and adapting needs to take place, and when a lot of early negative, early knee-jerk reacting Negans are going to come in and say, oh, I'm going to go ahead. This is Negan from, wasn't that the guy's name in Walking Dead? I'm going to come in and just overreact, just take my bat and just bash my team around and just jostle it up. I'm going to send everybody packing because guess what? Achane is not the same anymore, says David. David, congratulations, my guy. You just made Planet Uranus. Planet Uranus, David. Love it. I love it. Thank you.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
David, the phone line is open for you. I would love to hear the rationale as to why Achane's not the same anymore. What news did you get, David? Did you go to the practice field? Did you get a VIP pass? Did you walk in and see that Devon Achane is missing his big toe and there was an tractor injury that we didn't hear about? I would love for David to dial into the show and discuss. David, the phone line's only open for David. It's not open for Laundry Matt Jack, who continues to dial in during my monologue, Laundry. That's not a good look, pal. Dial it back. If David wants to dial in, David will get in, because I would love to know why David thinks that Achane's not the same anymore. Tell me you don't own Devon Achane. Tell me you slept at the wheel and didn't put a full load drop in when he was available on waivers, when your boy Smitty said full load drop.
Initiate full load drop.
Tell me you didn't full load drop on Devon Achane without telling me you didn't. David, you just told me, and I appreciate you. We'll get to the rest of the yeah, you know who's on planet Uranus?
And off he goes.
Oh, what are you looking there?
Planet
There's
known
Deshaun
as
Watson.
Uranus.
Hey! Oh! I think we need to move this crown over here. Okay, I'm not celebrating injury or anything like that. I'm just, this guy's been a disaster. We knew it was going to be. He's been playing bad anyway. He's been playing up and down. But yeah, anyway. Appreciate you all being here. David, I'll wait for your phone call. I doubt you call. But I appreciate you still, David. He's not gonna be the same. Why? I don't know. Because I don't own him. Because I don't own him. Maybe if I had some shares, I might get on board this train. I guarantee you one thing: if someone offered David a very generous Devon Achane offer, he would take it in a second. He'd be like, he would smash that button so quick. David, you know you would. You know you absolutely would. You know you'd do anything to get Devon Achane onto one of your rosters. It's just you can't, so it's frustrating, and so you lash out at Devon Achane. I knew there'd be a hater or two in the comments. There always are. Everyone says, Smitty, no one's selling Achane. Smitty, no one's doubting Achane. BS. Total BS. There's so much Achane doubt everywhere, but it's coming from birds chirping everywhere that did not get a share of him, didn't partake in the getting of Devon Achane. So they hate and they discuss this in a negative fashion. They try and spread a bunch of negativity around. It's not going to do a single thing. You're not going to dent the enthusiasm of this man or anybody here that owns Devon Achane in a league or two or three or four or five. My boy. You know what this sound is, David? That's the sound of us on our horse in any league where Devon Achane's coming back. And maybe we're potentially not in first place. Maybe we are. Maybe we're going like this, looking back and saying there's nobody behind us. But if we are in a position where Achane going down hurt us a little bit, this is us on our horse. And you know you hear us coming. Here we come. Devon Achane owners. Week 14. Week 15. Week 16. First place, week 17. That's the way we roll. We did it with Kenneth Walker last season. We did it with Jerick McKinnon last season. We did it with Devon Achane. And we might, ladies and gentlemen, also, might I remind you, be doing it with Mitchell. And this guy, Keaton Mitchell, has a hint of being related, maybe. His son, Devon Achane's son, we're not sure. But Mitchell looks very much like him on the field when he's moving around. The tendencies. And this kid right here is a full load drop, and the odds of being the best pickup of the year, Achane was the best pickup of the year. Obviously, he scored a 10 out of 10, full 10 load drop. So let's make sure we put Mitchell on or Achane on here as well. Achane, best pickup of the year, no doubt about it. We said that from the start. Achane, best pickup of the year. Mitchell, does he have the capability of also scoring a 10 out of 10? For being the best pickup of the year? Let me put that back on screen because Achane got removed when I tried to dramatically do that. Absolutely. Achane, Mitchell, Achane. Quite arguably, Code Smitty, that's right, Chad. Code Smitty, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Let me drop that link. These two guys absolutely can walk you into the promised land. Now, Mitchell's a little bit more unknown right now, and his coaching staff needs to use him and utilize him. And there's some concern coming out of week number 10 that, you know, he went nuts in the very beginning of the game, had about 60 total yards and a touchdown on very small usage, was ripping off runs, looking like Achane, playing the part, and then they just stopped using him. And it wasn't like we were given an explanation. He got banged up. We're talking about Keaton Mitchell. Harbaugh and the Ravens didn't say something like he got banged up, we had to take him out. They're just like, yeah, well, we need to use him more going forward. It was an inept maneuver or lack of maneuver by this coaching staff, a lack of usage, an inept decision, a bad debacle by the staff to be like, okay, he just ripped off a big, long touchdown run. He just ripped off an absolute other big, huge monster play. He's got 60, close to 70 yards total on very minimal touches in the very beginning of the game, scoring a touchdown, and then they just stop using him. There's concern there, but they do recognize they need to use him. And Mitchell, I believe a lot of teams see Devon Achane doing what he's doing, and they say, let's let it ride with our little speedster. I do think the Ravens kind of deploy a 50% workload timeshare between Gus Bus, other RBs, and then Mitchell. 45% maybe this week, maybe 41%, 45% the next week, 49%. Look at Devon Achane. I don't think he exceeded 54 to 56% total usage snap share. And that's where you want Achane. You don't want him at 90%. You want him at about 54 to 60% snap share, because that is enough in a potent offense like the Miami Dolphins. Back to Kenneth Walker, though. We got totally sidetracked. Kenneth Walker is a player that I think at this moment in time, it's very advisable to explore the best trade options you have. It doesn't mean I'm running from him. He's absolutely a moon man. He's absolutely going to continue to be somebody we root for, cheer for, and celebrate when he does things that we predicted him to do. Trading a player on the high doesn't mean you doubt them. It means that you're exploring. Think of it like a stock market. You may buy a bunch of shares of Apple stock, and just because you think the stock is going to drop tomorrow by quite a bit and then eventually go back up, you see another stock that you absolutely love that's super low, you may want to use your resources to get out of the stock you totally believe in, but you feel like there's a little bit of a inconsistency or turbulence on the horizon for the market share of it, and you get out and you buy in the stock that you also really love that's about to skyrocket. That is the name of the game. If anybody thinks we don't like Kenneth Walker because we have these difficult conversations, you don't know the show. You don't know me, you don't know the show, and you might not know ball. Because that is the name of the game. There's no other name. And there's some concerns enough to just explore trading for Achane, trading for JT and something, trading for Keaton Mitchell and a Devontae Adams combination that helps you replace in crafty, unbelievably aggressive fashion your RB and Keaton Mitchell, replacing Walker, and you get Devontae Adams for your lineup. Even a Deebo Samuel potential situation with Keaton Mitchell isn't crazy for Kenneth Walker if you feel like you're going to do amazing things with that wide receiver position. This is the upcoming schedule for Kenny Walker. He's got the Rams. Maybe you still have time to trade him after week number 11. He could still have a very productive game. He could still score touchdowns. But here's the concern, and the concern we had about a month and a half ago, where I said, hey, I love Kenny Walker. He just scored two tutties. Okay, he's playing the Giants. I believe it was right around that territory. He could definitely do well for the next couple weeks, but he does have a very dangerous schedule upcoming. And if you can buy Austin Eckler, this was about 2 weeks out before Austin Eckler returned. You had a 2-week lead time to buy low on Eckler. We said this is your go call. You're green lit to go get Austin Eckler using the man we love so much in Kenny Walker. It's not a knock. Nobody loves Kenny Walker more than I do. Nobody's got what we got in relation to Kenny Walker. Drop a Kenny Walker emoji. Prove to the people how devoted we are to Kenny Walker. Hit the animation, Smitty.
Kenneth Skywalker.
Nobody loves Kenny Walker more than I do, but real recognizes real. We're opportunistic. We are realistic. We are adjust and adapt people and community. And right here, you look at this situation and you say, and I'm getting to the super chats after the monologue, guys. I know a lot of you drop supers. I'm coming for you. Don't worry. You look at this situation, and the Niners were vulnerable on defense before the Chase Young trade and before they sent their defensive coordinator onto the field. And, Steve, they call him Sideline Steve now, and he did a better job. Chase Young and Bosa are just filthy. Absolute filth. And the Niners, look at this schedule for Kenny Walker. Week 12, San Francisco. Week 13, Dallas. Week 14, San Francisco again. Week 15, Philadelphia. This is one of the most disgustingly bad schedules you could dial up for an RB. An RB that might be slightly banged up. An RB that is dividing his timeshare up by about 50% right now. And so there is major concern. If we pull up this indicator and we show you, let me see if I can put this on screen here, and I show you the snap usage right here. This is of, if I could just grab this, hold on. Let me grab this one here. I could just grab this real quickly. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, so if we look at the snap usage right here, I'm going to use this big one here, but 63% of the snap share in week 1, 61, 51. And he had green lit, columns across the board pretty much for the first month and a half of the season. Even when he was at a snap share that was kind of in the danger territory, 63, 61, 51, 71, 76, 80. Very, very solid. The last 3 games, 41% snap share, 49% snap share, 48% snap share. So my concern is if he's banged up, if he's potentially also heating way to about 50% usage to the other RBs in the RB room, specifically majority of it going to Charbonnet, 41, 49, 48. What happens when he faces the most brutal rushing schedule in the entire National Football League? There's no one that has a string of games. San Francisco, Dallas, San Francisco, Philly. 4 straight games, getting half the work in a puttering offense that could game script out the run. That's my concern. There's nothing else worrisome about Walker. He's an elite player. He's got a rough schedule. Could he be lights out in week number 16 and week 17? Absolutely. Do you sell him low right now for pennies on the dollar in fear of this schedule? No. He could still score a touchdown in any one of these weeks. He could have 3 touchdowns in this 4-game stretch and salvage his week every single week. He could still have 100 total yards if he catches a 60-yard touchdown reception like he did last week. 100% still on my don't sell him low list. But when you have an opportunity to go get as I said, Keaton Mitchell and Davante Adams, who did a lot better last week than in previous weeks, and I believe that's going to trend upward. He played the New York Football Jets. He played Sauce Gardner and the boys, and Sauce Gardner couldn't contain him. And while he didn't score, while he didn't have 150 yards, he most certainly would have against almost any other defense. He most certainly would have had that 100, 150 yard and 1 or 2 touchdown game. We're talking about Davante Adams, had he not faced off against Sauce Gardner in the New York Jet defense. So you get a Davante Adams who still didn't explode in week number 10 with a Keaton Mitchell for a Walker. That's a big win. You go get a doubted Tony Pollard with the wide receiver upgrade in a 2-for-2 deal. Let's call it something along the lines of you send Walker to the owner that has Pollard, right? Which a lot of people are going to say, I don't want Pollard over Walker. I'd rather have Walker. That's why you're going to ask for an additional piece. So if this is the package that you're getting for Walker, now you're going to send Walker plus a player for Pollard and a Devontae Smith. And this player is going to be a lot lesser than Devontae Smith. Maybe this is a Noah Brown who's having a phenomenal little spurt right now. Nico's coming back. You use your noggin and you trade Singletary or something, or a quarterback that you don't need as a second QB. Maybe you're smart enough to go get Kyler. Maybe you got an extra McBride tight end situation going on. Now you've got that piece to throw in, and you're playing with the house's money. Now, I'm not saying Pollard's the best choice. I'm merely just saying you've got ideas and options to upgrade. Now, let's say you don't like Pollard. You don't want to go near Pollard. I get it. Pollard is not the best example. Walker, for what I believe to be the best example, would be a Devontae Adams plus this Keaton Mitchell type of situation. Maybe there's another one like Ramondre. Maybe there's another one where you're upgrading your quarterback. Maybe you need the QB and you go get Kyler Murray and you say, okay, we'll just do Walker straight up for Adams. Hey, give me Kyler. Oh, you need something else? Okay, now I'll throw back something small, make the scale feel a little bit more even. This right here is win a league potential movement and maneuvering when you have a guy like Walker who has the schedule he has, who has the injury he has, which I don't think is huge, but you mix it all together with Charbonnet getting close to 45-50% of the timeshare split and workload divide, it's concerning. And it makes you want to make a smart, sound, logical decision with your brain and not your heart. That's it. If somebody comes to me and says, okay, Smitty, I hear you. Should I get rid of Walker for Singletary and freaking Nico Collins? Who I like Nico. But no, we're not talking about that kind of move. We're talking about making a baller move, a big boy move. Not a small little, I'm going to weasel my way out of Walker and not stand by him through thick and thin. We're standing by Walker through thick and thin. But when someone offers you, maybe you give up, in this case, this would be another amazing approach to this type of trade. You send Walker, okay, you start off the trade. This is how you should negotiate a trade. You start off with one piece, right? So Walker, okay, I'm sending Walker to, let's call it the, let's say we're going to go after a freaking player like, let's say, I forgot the example I was going to use. I was going to say something like, let's use a smaller name player. So let's just start off with a potential, let's say Tank Dell. Okay. Now, when you say I'm doing Walker for Dell, you're not doing that trade. You're getting this extra piece here, and this extra piece can be crafty as hell. It can be somebody that's doubted. It could be someone like Breece Hall, and maybe you feel more confident in that situation. It could be something along the lines of, let's do this. This is what I was going to do. Let's go after a better player than Walker. What, Smitty? Did you just say you're going to trade Walker for a better player than Walker? You bet your bottom dollar. This ain't no Mickey Mouse trade negotiation lesson right here. This is the fantasy football college. This is knowledge from the college, from fantasy football school right here. Okay, let's say you want to go get ETN. Well, good God, Smitty, how do I do that? You give Walker and the Kyler that you have sitting on your bench. You give Walker and the McBride that you've got sitting on the bench. Maybe you have a guy like Kincaid and you also have an Andrews, so you throw Andrews in and you make this trade a little more lopsided right here, and now you need to ask for somebody, ETN and another piece, and you get something solid right here. The 1 for 2, the 2 for 1, the 2 for 2, they're all very solid, and sometimes the best trade to make in double-digit weeks is not the 1 for 2 or the 2 for 1. Sometimes it's the crafty 2 for 1 that you turn into a quietly amazing 2 for 2 where you're using sorcery and absolute fantasy football negotiation 101 skills to make the second player that you add with Kenny Walker make it feel like a legitimate 2 for 2. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. Walker for ETN, throw in something. Walker for ETN, throw in a Singletary who's doing well. Throw in a potential player like one that comes to mind that's playing. You could say, look, I don't trust Stevenson right now. I'll give, or even better yet, like I said, the Kyler situation. Maybe a wide receiver like Pickens, who you're just ready to say, I don't know that his head's in the right place. Some people still trade for Pickens and Walker for ETN. That maybe gets you that. Maybe it's JT. Maybe people don't necessarily believe in JT fully yet. Why is my marker just leaking all over the place here? Maybe it's something along the lines of, let's try Achane. Oh, Smitty, no one's giving Achane. Maybe they will if they don't have the quarterback. Maybe you've got Stroud and you've got another quarterback that is kind of ranked a little bit higher and better. Maybe you got Lamar and Stroud. Well, why don't you put your balls on the table and say, you know what, I'll trade Stroud, or put my balls on the table even more and say, let's send Lamar packing and keep Stroud and start Stroud. Now I've got Achane coming to me. I'm sending Lamar and Walker to them. That affords me to ask for another piece. And now you ask for a quietly amazing piece that he's doubting that you're not. And that's how you trade. It doesn't always have to, when you add a better player that makes the trade very difficult to accept 2 for 1, you end up adding more to the trade and turn it back into a 2 for 2. A 2 for 1 or a 1 for 2 easily can turn into a 2 for 2 to balance the scale. It's all about a scale. Think of a trade like this. This is all fantasy football trading is. It's a scale, okay? Here's the scale. And on this side of the bucket on the scale is you. On this side is them, okay? And so you throw Achane into the deal and you're getting Achane, okay? Let's say you haven't even added anything. All of a sudden, the scale goes like this. The value is all on this side of the table. And they have nothing in their scale. You throw a potential Walker into the scale, and now all of a sudden, the scale goes a little something like this. It's still heavy in your favor. Maybe it's not slammed down on the other side anymore, but you threw Walker in. Now you throw Walker in with Lamar, and all of a sudden, the scale flaps down on the other side, smashes down, or maybe doesn't smash down. Achane's good enough, but now the scale looks something like this. This bucket with Lamar and Walker now weighs more. And you don't want to exit a trade negotiation when you've got this side of the scale favoring the other person, unless there's some scenarios, unless you have so much depth, you're playing in an 8 or 10 man league, load this up, make them feel the heavy part of that scale, and beef up your lineup and you smash. That's the only exception to the rule. So in this case, if this is you, now you add in something crafty on this side of the fence that allows you to make this slightly back in your favor. Here are the 2 buckets, Walker and Lamar, and you've got Achane coming to you, and now you add that extra piece to the equation right here. And this could be a number of things. It could be a doubted Devonta Smith. It could be a doubted potential Tony Pollard. It could be someone like Deebo Samuel. It could be someone to the tune of you could say Mitchell. You could say something like that. If you have, let's say, Stroud, like that's a move you can make. But it's all about balancing the scale. Trade negotiation 102, we'll call it. 101's more of the, in my context, is more of the art of the trade, the order of questioning, the letting the other owner feel like it's their idea, the trade, not asking for the player you want in the initial trade talk, triggering them to be defensive, and why do you want him? What do you know about him? That's trade 101. That's all the emotional and strategic order of things. Trade negotiation 102, which I'm going to have a lot of content on in the offseason. We'll have a whole psychology section on the YouTube page on its own row. Trade 102 is the actual construction of the trade, the scale, the anchor method, the anchor mechanism that your boy talks about. That is 1,000% 102, trade negotiation 102. We'll get into all that. We haven't even got, there's 43 super chats sitting here. I'm going to do my very best. You guys get my point on Walker. And the same thing real quickly about Pollard, and then I'm going to get to the news down here very quickly. We'll go really fast, and then we'll get to the super chats. Look, Tony Pollard is in the same boat as Walker in the context of we've got to trade him away if we own him, if we can sell him relatively high, or we hold him. He's not a player we run from. There's a lot of concern. There's more risk running away at seller dweller pricing than there is standing pat. But Pollard is a guy you can trade away if you beef up the idea and trade with an extra component. So you're going after, and it doesn't hurt to go after a better player. You just got to add more and balance the scale out. So let's say you want to go after a doubted ETN and his owner's freaking out about him. His owner's like, oh, you had a bad game. You can't do this trade straight up. No one's saying you can. But what is the limit? Is Pickens going to get it done? Probably not. Is Stroud, if you've got Lamar, or Lamar, if you've got Stroud, going to get it done? Probably, but depending on who you add in. If you add in Lamar, then you got to add in another component. So if you do this, then you got to balance the scale back out. You no longer can do a 2-for-1. You now have turned your 2 players into 2 players that you need to receive because you added such a big name on this side that's got lots of draft capital. But let's say you throw in a Stroud. I'm kind of, if you've got Lamar, or you've got Tua, or you've got Burrow, or you've got a QB we consider to be potentially a top 5 or 6 QB, you can afford to do a 2-for-1 in this context. Pollard, Stroud for ETN, do it live.
You've just been Smitty approved.
That's acceptable. Pollard and let's call it, this marker's leaking all over the place. Pollard and let's call it, I'm trying to think of a wide receiver. If we go to thefantasyfootballshow.com rankings and I just take a gander at my own rankings, and you can do that too by going to thefantasyfootballshow.com. This right here, thefantasyfootballshow.com. We look at some wide receivers that are capable of being thrown in to not tip the scale in such a direction that we can't just do it straight up. Hopkins potentially. Maybe DJ Moore, Addison, Adam Thielen. Those are all fantastic players to toss into this equation. So let's do that. So if we say, hey, Pollard and Adam Thielen, who still has some value, and some people want to see it happen. Adam Thielen, you take that. I think I spelled that wrong. Or you do something along the lines of who do we say? Hopkins. Hopkins is going to be very inconsistent. Hopkins and Pollard for ETN. Maybe you get to add something there. Maybe they are going to drop Ridley, and you're like, throw Ridley in. Let's see what happens. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff, but Pollard is definitely a guy to go sell if you can sell him. And sometimes you can sell him easier by asking for the bigger player, slightly better than Pollard, not lower, slightly more ranked higher, and you give the extra component and make it a complicated 2-for-2 trade. If you don't own Pollard, his owner's freaking the hell out. And I honestly believe there's a lot of situations where if you told me your roster, I'd say you need a move. You need a gamble. Go get Tony Pollard. Go strike a pose. Go get this man. Go get him because you're playing with the house's money. I had one of our amazing, I don't want to call him out unless he wants me to tell him it was his trade, but he traded Pittman for Tony Pollard last week, and he was a little bit like, what are we doing about Pollard? But that's not a concern. At that cost of entry, that's still playing with the house's money. Not saying Pittman isn't a good player. Not saying Pittman couldn't make this an equal trade. He certainly could. And Pollard could drop off the face of the earth and give more than 50% of the work to Dowdle. And all of a sudden, this guy is actually more valuable. But in this context, this was more than an even trade. And even right now, in the current vantage point that we're sitting in, it's still more advantageous to own Pollard than it is Pittman in the running back climate that we're in. So if you can do something like this, it's a home run. And I venture to say there's a lot of people, maybe even in the chat right now, that would say they'd rather have Pittman. And that's good news because that makes me feel really excited that there's buy low potential for Pollard. And it doesn't mean that if we miss on it, it's the end of the world. You're buying at wide receiver 3 potential value. And I do see a lot of Pittmans in the chat right now, which I totally understand. I'm going to take the gamble on Pollard. I'm going to trade for Pollard in that context. I traded Dell and Singletary for Pollard. That, depending on your wide receivers, I really like Dell a lot. But trading Singletary, which we have a live example in the chat, plus another piece, I don't know if I want to send Dell, I try, is totally risk-free. The risk is all absolutely 1,000% baked into the equation. There's no risk whatsoever in that context. Almost none. Almost none. Do we have the Baked In Boys sound? Is that playing? I don't think the Baked In Boys sound's playing. I hit it and it didn't play. Anyway, All right, let's walk away from Pollard real quick. Let's just hit these news pieces, and then we'll move on. Nico Collins is back at practice. That puts a little damper on the potential value of Noah Brown. JJ was limited in Wednesday's practice. We might even do a separate video on this later tonight or tomorrow. Not looking extremely likely that he plays this week with the current information that we have, and this is devastating news for anybody expecting to have him back. Looks like they're still trying to ramp him up. Reportedly, he could play. Maybe this takes a turn. Remember, Fields yesterday had the feel of not playing, and today he was announced he was going to start. So we still have a little time, but given tomorrow will be another day closer to having this information needing to be out there for us to feel confident. The later we get into the week, the less likely it's going to happen. So we'll have more information on that. Again, we might even do a emergency live stream separate from that this video later tonight. T. Higgins will not play week 11. That means Irvin and Boyd, they're all excellent plays, and Jamar Chase to the moon. Joe Burrow still can get it done. We saw that. Whether everyone wants to talk about his interceptions and losing the game, whatever, from a fantasy perspective, Joe Burrow is absolute fire. Alexander Mattison did not practice Wednesday and is not looking likely for week number 11. So Ty Chandler is going to get the start. And if you need an RB, we talked about Ty Chandler. He's on this board. Really, this news today vaults him up probably in this territory right here if you need a play this week. Like if Edwards were available, he'd probably still be ahead of him. But Chandler's certainly in the cards of being one of the better pickups, applicable now usage pickups for this moment, this week 11. You need somebody. So Alexander Mattison most likely not going to play. That's bad news for anybody that was hoping Madison would step up with the injury to Cam Akers. Now you got an injury. It feels very similar to Roshan Johnson getting a shot and then crapping the bed. 500 people in here and only 111 thumbs up. That's a travesty. Can we get those rookie numbers pumped up? 513 in the chat, 111 thumbs up. Please smash it for your boy. Stafford returned to practice on Wednesday. His coach McVay said that there should be no limitations in practice. They don't quite want to anoint him the starter in week number 11, but saying he's got no limitations in practice, read between the lines, he's back. That is great for Cooper Kupp. That is great for Puka Nacua. And the week 11 buy lows, here they are. And there's a couple more we want to add to this list potentially, but this is the group. These are the guys. These are the monsters. Achane, go buy him. Go buy him. You're not even buying low. This isn't just a buy low list. This is a buy list. This doesn't matter. It's not all buy low. You're not going to buy Achane low, but he's going to be outperforming his current market value. I'm telling you that right now. Mitchell, waiver wire material. You still buy him. Doesn't matter if you could have had him on waivers. Don't swallow your pride. Kyron, go get Kyron now. This news of Stafford being, not limited in practice, very likely to play unless there's a setback. Kyron's going to go to the moon. Puka, Cooper Kupp, buy him now. Adams, buy him now. Devonta Smith, buy him now. Tua Tagovailoa, everything. If you missed my Miami Dolphin rant for about 25 minutes, go back and check it out. Bijan, McBride, Mahomes, Kyler, Debo, Pollard to a degree. You can crap on Pollard all you want. He's still a good buy low if he's dirt cheap. He's dirt cheap. Anybody who says Kyler's not or Tony Pollard's not a buy low, you need to do this little number, okay? You need to exit the room and walk back in and say, oh, Tony Pollard, he's got new value. It's absolute garbage. I think I'll go ahead and take that. Pennies on the dollar. Let me buy a little Tony Pollard. That looks like a fantastic value right there. That's what you need to do. If you're sitting here saying, no, Tony Pollard, I'm absolutely, Smitty, I'm 100% off the Tony Pollard train. No matter what his value is, I'm not going to buy him. You are absolutely missing the point of Tony Pollard and his newfound value. Go buy him for dirt cheap. Make him your running back 3. Who's asking you to continue to roll him out or buy him to roll him out as your RB1? Nobody. This is the same song and dance when everybody avoided Kenneth Walker, who's played a phenomenal. He's done a phenomenal job, Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker to the freaking moon. Okay, Kenneth Walker to the moon. Okay, Kenneth Walker to the moon. Done a phenomenal job. I don't want anybody complaining about Kenneth Walker right now. Okay, even though we talk about potentially smartly trading him, he's a beast. But what did everybody do? Oh, Charbonnet was drafted. He's garbage now. When Kenneth Walker went from 15 overall down to 6th-round territory, just like he was the year prior. And guess what we did? Put ourselves in league-winning positioning by drafting Kenny Walker in round 6, round 7. What do we do with Alvin Kamara all offseason long? Smitty, Alvin Kamara belongs in behind bars, Smitty. Why would we like Alvin Kamara? You've been talking so much trash about Alvin Kamara because he wins leagues. Because you walk out of the room, you come in, and you readjust your thinking. Oh, Alvin Kamara, 6th-round value. That's fantastic. Oh, Kenneth Walker, 6th-round value. Fantastic. Tony Pollard, garbage value. Buy low. Who the hell cares? Play with the house's money. If it doesn't work out, you ain't losing shit because you're buying them at seller dweller pricing. Do it live. Last 2 pieces of news. I already covered this one. And this one right here, Deshaun Watson covered this one. We went in tremendous detail. Watson's out for the season. Now it's time to do the super chats, and they've been piling up. And our first super chat of the evening was not only from Sean Patrick, but it was also a $20 mother freaking hauler. Sean, you absolute gem and monster and menace.
Alert. Super chat alert.
My boy Sean coming in strong. Hey, Smitty, traded Schultz, Ridley, Addison for Cooper Kupp. Schultz, Ridley, Addison, smash it. I like it. Now's not the time to get scared, become a scared Scotty. You put your balls on the table, you trade for Cooper Kupp. The news of Stafford coming back makes him one of the best buys in week number 11. And he does qualify. Not everybody qualifies as a buy low on this list. I made that abundantly clear for the unaware Unger in the chat that's complaining that the keyboard tough guy, oh, these aren't buy low. Smitty's dumb. Smitty's ridiculous. There's always a late Lonnie in the comment section. He never says it live, or sometimes I guess he does. In the comments, late Lonnie strolls in. He knows everything. You know, he should have a channel because he's so knowledgeable. But late Lonnie strolls in and goes, in the comments, I've been watching like a hawk the entire show, and I found the negative point I want to call out. Nobody's selling Devon Achane, Smitty. I should have a channel because I know this and you don't. So nobody's selling Devon Achane, Smitty. You couldn't possibly have hundreds of people that are trading for Achane as we speak. Now, hundreds and maybe thousands of people watching by the time this plays out all week long. Thousands. I mean, maybe 5,000 people are going to watch this video. Let's say it gets 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 views. 5,000 to 6,000 will not be able to get Achane. That is the nature of fantasy football trading. If he was available everywhere, everybody would be talking about it. We're talking about it because we see the vision of this man outscoring his expectation and market value. He's not a buy low, but he's a buy. And off on a tangent, I'm sorry. What I meant to come here and say is that Cooper Kupp is a buy low. And maybe you don't get him at seller dweller pricing, but you get him, you do it live. You did absolutely amazing. Have Pollard, JT, Kenneth Walker, Cooper Kupp, Keenan Allen, Kincaid. Do I fire up Pollard for Achane straight up? Almost. Look, Sean, you dropped a $20 hauler and you made a magnificent trade, so you get a little extra benefit of the doubt in the bank. But this is almost a borderline take a lap question. Achane to the freaking moon. Go do it live. You pull off that, we're going to play the got 'em button as we send you on your victory lap. Alex, appreciate you. $10 haulers get
to the moon.
Moonshots, and Alex, you get one. What up, guy? Tight end premium. Trade Walker for Mark Andrews. Smash. Maybe in a non-tight end premium, you would have a little discussion about it, but still not a scary move to make in a non-tight end premium. In a tight end premium, we're doing it live. And I think that, you have a little bit of upside in Keaton Mitchell, Javonte, right? So you roll with that. Maybe you even put your cojones on the line and say, give me Gibbs and Javonte and Mitchell, and you trade Henry for a Cooper Kupp, a Devontae Adams, a Puka Nacua, or a Devontae Smith, and you say, watch me go. Watch me ride into the sunset. What's that sound? Oh, that's Alex on his horse going for the end zone. Alex, appreciate you. Thank you very much for your super chat. Indeed. Wild Bill, Pickens, Mike Wilson, Gabe Davis, pick one. Give me Gabe Davis. And I'm not really looking back. I think, I think that this is going to be one of those situations where people are going to absolutely want to crap all over the Buffalo Bills. And it's weird because on my YouTube, in my YouTube community, I don't get a lot of pushback for, hey, buy Josh Allen on the cheap right now, because my community knows what I'm saying. If you don't understand what that means and you say to yourself, like, you can't get Josh Allen low, no one's going to sell him, you really look at things differently than I do. It's not like wrong, but it's different. And I don't necessarily feel like buying low has to be seller dweller. I feel like buying low has to be, hey, he's going to live to regret this move, and I'm going to make it, and I'm going to do it live. And that's the context of it. And it's funny to me when people absolutely miss the point and drop the ball on the situation, and they don't even see the value that's sitting there available to you in a slightly buy low context. So Josh Allen, Diggs, they're cheaper than they would be if they were popping off. That's my point. If you think Josh Allen's not cheaper today than he was after a pop-off week in the past weeks, you're out of your mind. He's absolutely cheaper. Is he a ton cheaper? No. Are you going to get him like he's dog water? No. But you definitely need to consider doing the little buy low maneuver, my guy. And if we look right here at the matchups for this question, look, the Cardinals, I don't hate Michael Wilson. I think he's very, very solid. This could be a good matchup. It could be something where the Texans are up and the Cardinals are trying to throw to get back into the game. I think Stroud's playing that good of football that you can assume that. Pickens, I don't trust. He's going against the Browns. You could say, oh, they're going to be in panic mode with no Deshaun Watson, but they still got a disruptive defense, and you got a guy that's disruptive on his own team. A lot of disruption in that equation. And then you look at Gabe Davis and you say, Gabe, can you put it all together? You're playing the Jets, though, but you know Diggs is going to be covered and blanketed by sauce, and you probably say maybe Gabe slips through and gets a touchdown. That's my preference. I don't think it's like a very easy call, but that's the way I would roll with the Bill. Appreciate your super chat. Handed got offered Gibbs for Debo and also got offered Kupp and Gibbs for Debo and Bijan. I would take Kupp and Gibbs for Debo and Bijan, and I would probably run. That's not disrespectful to Bijan. It's Bijan's current value, which can change. And could I see a world where this trade's even? Yeah, but that's the positive of this trade for you. In a worst case scenario, it's even Steven and you both win. I think in a best case scenario, you're crushing them because you're getting the better players as of right now with the less risk, in my opinion. Need wide receiver help. Got offered Mike Kincaid for Puka. I would rather have Puka than Kincaid. That's just being truthful. Doesn't mean I don't love Kincaid. Doesn't mean I'm doubting him whatsoever. That's called negotiation 101. You're making a move that benefits your team without putting your emotions in there. Again, 101 to me, trade negotiation 101 is mental, emotional, order of things, how you set it up kind of like verbally. And when you're going after a player, are you holding on to your heart and say, oh, I can't trade Kincaid? Puka's a fantastic go-get player. Complain about all the trade offers. I sent them over 20. You got to send a lot of trade offers. Trade offers in masses in order to get that done. Scuba, I can't answer calls right now. I'm doing the super chats and I'm way behind on them, so I'm sorry, bro. James, need a wide receiver help. Got offer Mike Kincaid for Puka. Oh, I just did that one. Thank you. Appreciate you. This one's from Paul. Paul says, was just offered Monty Higgins for my Brees and Kincaid. This one's close. I probably lean toward the Kincaid-Brees side. You got Kittle. Doesn't mean you don't trade one of your tight ends away for an Adams, for a Devonta Smith, for a Puka Nacua, for a Cooper Kupp, even if you're giving up Kittle and something for Cooper Kupp. But I feel like I like the Kincaid-Brees side more. Higgins, he's not playing. He's injured. It doesn't feel like as safe of a situation. Monty feels a little bit safer. I guess I would say this. Tyreek, Bijan, Pollard, Mitchell, Dell, Sutton. Yeah, if you had, like, let's say, insane... I don't know. This one's tough. I say you keep Brees, you move for a wide receiver using Kincaid or Kittle. And shop both of them. Don't just be beholden to one because you love one of them more, whether it's Kincaid or Kittle. Just what gets you the best trade? What makes your team the best? Shop both of them. Give yourself two avenues of trade. Lamar or Tua, I go Tua, move forward. For everything that I said at the beginning of the show, go rewatch it, Trey, if you missed it. I went on a rant for like 20, 30 minutes on the Dolphins and how everybody is not judging this situation correctly. Tua and K9 and K9 or Javonte this week. I'm probably going to go... Look, Javonte looks phenomenal. And I like where he feels. I like the progression. I like what we're seeing out of Javonte right now. It feels like things are humming. They're going in the right direction. He plays in that spotlight Sunday night football game against the Minnesota Vikings. Right, the Vikings. That's a good at home situation. I guess I lean toward Walker right now, but can we revisit this trade? Because I think there's a chance that I switch this at the end of it. I think Javonte just looks phenomenal right now. He looks so explosive. My only concern is, do they continue to feed him or do they dial him back in some dumb usage, dilemma that we're like, what are we doing? Because Sean Payton worries me on some level still. Should I look to trade Brees in this abysmal offense? Yeah, Achane, absolutely. Give up somebody to get Achane. You're not going to get it straight up. ETN, give up something small for ETN. Trade across position for Adams, Puka, Cooper Kupp, and like I said, Devonta Smith in some cases is very similar value to me, but you could probably get more like a Keaton Mitchell on top of it. Smitty got offered Pollard and Debo for Jacobs. I'd take Pollard and Debo over Jacobs personally because I think Debo in some sense can hold his own against Jacobs, even though Jacobs is probably the best player in the deal, especially with all the hype behind the Raiders' enthusiasm and their motivation and the coach and just how they want to run through a brick wall for this Coach Pierce, and the fact that Adams is smoking cigars with Jacobs after the game. The whole locker room is just lighting them up and they're just having a ball and a blast. They love football again. Jacobs is getting fed. Jacobs is probably the safest player in the deal, probably. But Pollard still has enough upside that you take the gamble on it without risking anything really, because Debo could hang with Jacobs. You get two players, you're diluting your talent. If you're winning and you're absolutely the best team in the league, stand down, keep Jacobs. Stand down, keep Jacobs. Okay? But if you 100% need a move and you're kind of worried about what's going on, the state of your team, you're looking to me for some sort of risky move that might have a little high risk action to it, but it gives you upside. So it just really does depend on what you're looking at. And everybody in the chat saying, oh, you can't trade Jacobs. You can and you have to if you're not winning with them. So context matters. But if you're winning with them, don't mix anything up. Just keep riding the wave, bro, because it's pretty close. Worth playing Keaton Mitchell over Pollard. I would say this week, let's wait and see what the news is on everything. But, let's revisit that one. But I'm inching toward that. Trade Burrow, McBride, Rashad for Allen, Hollywood. I take the Josh Allen side personally because I think Josh Allen's going to go on a tear. But I love Joe Burrow. I love that other side. It wouldn't break my heart if a trade fell through that was looking like that. I'd be like, you know what? Give me Joe Burrow anyway, then. I'm fine. But I would lean toward that other side slightly. Trade Swift and B. Hall. Swift for B. Hall. Take Brees. Absolutely. This one right here is from Cole. Cole, appreciate you. Send AJB for Jacobs and Evans. That's pretty good. AJB is amazing, but that's pretty good. If you can't win, then maybe you make a trade. Let's look at your team. You've got Tyreek Hill, AJB, Dell. You're phenomenal at wide receiver. You got Gibbs, James Cook, Keaton Mitchell might step up. I don't know who your quarterback is. If you've got a Mahomes or something, you may be a candidate to say, don't touch what's working, bro. But if you've got no quarterback, then you're a little bit lighter. I could see myself maybe contemplating this move. It would be a decent move, but at the end of the day, I lean toward not doing anything if you were having major success with A.J. Brown. Why move them if things are humming? Snoopy with a $2 Kyren, Tank for Cooper Kupp. I think that's very, very even, bro. You have Pollard, you have Mitchell, you have Monty, you have Chase. I think, I think your team is going to be probably about the same. I mean, Kyren and Tank is about the same value as Cooper Kupp. I don't think you can really say that either side would be a mistake. I'd say trust your gut because Kyren plays that. He can play that well. I lean Kupp maybe by a hair. Achane, keeper. Andrews, Howell for Monty, Kelsey, Burrow. Man, that's. I mean, look, Howell's playing top. He's in the top 5. He's a top 5 quarterback in most scoring formats. It's crazy. This is one of our biggest super flex monsters to draft and win a league. Sam Howell, by the way. Can we just give Sam Howell his flowers? I mean, unbelievable draft selection. Achane, Andrews, Howell for Monty, Kelsey, Burrow. Give me the Achane side, especially with the keeper value. I can't not keep Achane. That's a fantastic keeper. Depends on the context of your keeper league. Smitty, should I trade Warren for Puka in Dynasty? I'd rather have Puka by a lot, Pat. By quite a bit in Dynasty. Fields, Swift, Hall, Mostert, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Godwin, Kincaid, 16 team, 6-4, looking to upgrade wide receiver deal. Mostert for who? Mostert for Devonta Smith, Mostert for Puka Nacua, Mostert for Deebo Samuel. Those are probably the par for the course type players to go get in general. I would say you could talk about maybe even I guess you could say like Mostert for Mike Evans, Mostert for Garrett Wilson, Mostert for, I said, Devonta Smith. Those, Adams might even, you might have to throw a little more in potentially to get as high as an Adams, but those are all players that are very, very comparable, and you don't even have to like sweat it. Ozzy with a $10 hauler, $10 haulers get moonshots. Ozzy, my man, to the moon, appreciate you. Would you trade Devonta Smith or Kincaid for Keaton Mitchell? I would trade Kincaid for Keaton Mitchell if you have a guy like Hawkinson who you do. I don't trade Devonta Smith for Keaton Mitchell. That's almost reckless because Devonta Smith could still be a wide receiver, a low-end wide receiver 1 or super high-end wide receiver 2. You can't buy Mitchell at value he has not earned yet. That's reckless purchasing of an asset in fantasy. You just can't do that. Kincaid's about as high as you want to go anyway in terms of sending a valuable player that's already proving himself. But I like the idea, bro. I don't mind that at all, Ozzy. I think that he's got a lot of value right now. Running backs, Kyren, Hall, JT. Trade JT and Deontay for Terry and Adams and Aaron Jones. I would rather have Terry, Adams, and Aaron Jones because JT and Adams to me are close enough. And Deontay doesn't move the needle too much for me personally. And you get Adams, Aaron Jones, Terry. I like that set a lot, Michael. This one here is from King. Trade Kenneth Walker and Ford for ETN and Madison. I'd rather have ETN and Madison, to be honest. I like Ford a lot. I like Walker, but for reasons we talked about earlier, I like getting into an ETN over Walker if I can, and that's a good move. Just sent my Bijan and Pacheco for Achane. It's a little much if Bijan succeeds. It will be painful to watch a little bit, but at the same time, like Pacheco's got to also ball out, which he could, for you to feel really ridiculous later. Achane side for me. At the end of the day, I'm putting my balls on the line for that move too. So I like the move. Water bottle says $10 hauler gets a moonshot. Water bottle, appreciate you dropping the 10 watt on screen, my guy. I'm 9-1. You're doing all the right things. Be careful not to even do anything. And my wide receivers are AJ Brown, Amon Ra, Hollywood Brown, Dell. Love it. I was offered Tyreek Hill for my Amon Ra and Kincaid. I take Tyreek Hill because you got Mark Andrews. I take a little bit of a overpay, or I don't even say overpay, but like you're giving him good value. He's doing well too. You're not taking him to the cleaners, but give me Tyreek Hill. for a lot of the reasons I talked about at the beginning of the show for about 30 minutes if you missed it. G-Dog, appreciate your $5 hauler. 8-man PPR, 4 and 6 starter. Trade advice. Burrow, Tua, Murray, Barkley, Hall, Mitchell, Adams, Puka. So, I mean, Allen, I mean, there's no advice I can give you in terms of your starters. Mitchell's hard to shove Barkley out of the lineup yet, but he might be getting there. And if you can start 3 wide receivers, then you're starting your 3 big dogs. There's nothing unusual about that. And if you can start a flex on top of 3 wide receivers, then it's Mitchell. And there's nothing really. You say 2 running backs. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. I'm sorry, you clarified it for me, and I just missed it. So it's going to be Barkley and Hall. It's going to be Adams and probably Allen, and your flex is going to be Puka. There you go. And then you're wanting to use Mitchell, but you can't really right now. But you could maybe make a trade. Yeah. So I'm trading Barkley away. And you might even look, as much as I love Tua and Murray and Burrow, let me just tell you something. You're in an 8-man league. No offense, but 8-man leagues are all the same. All your rosters are loaded. No one's better than the next guy. You know what separates an 8-man owner from another 8-man owner? Beefing up a lineup spot by overpaying. Because guess what? Your waiver wire is probably loaded. You probably got guys on the waiver wire you can't pick up that are gems. You probably had to force Keaton Mitchell onto your roster and drop someone significant. So you know what you do? You upgrade Burrow for Mahomes or Josh Allen, and you give Barkley away, and you put Hall and Keaton Mitchell into your lineup, and you put them in there, and you go balls to the wall. Or you overpay for Achane, which is probably my more favorite idea, especially if the guy could use a quarterback, which you probably can't because it's an 8-man league. But I overpay a little bit for Achane. I believe you could probably get away with Barkley and Hall for Achane, and then you put Mitchell and Achane in. I don't know. That's probably what I would do, dog, because you're in an 8-man league. You got to separate yourself somehow. Da Vinci with a dollar hauler. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for dropping that. Recovery, appreciate you dropping a super chat on screen here. $5 hauler. Hey, Smitty. So is trading deadline, I gave up Dak, Pacheco, Kyler, and Hopkins. I received Waddle, Stroud, and JT. I like that. I don't mind that at all. You give up 2 QBs. I assume this is a 1 QB league. You didn't say it was super flex anywhere. So, it'd be not great to trade 2 quarterbacks in a super flex. But Waddle, Stroud, JT is pretty darn good, my guy. You did fairly well right there. I think that's a good trade. Smitty approved. Cody with a super. Would you trade Pollard for Pacheco? I would definitely consider it. Ziggy, show me the front door. I would definitely consider it. I guess the mailman. Ziggy off. But I think I think if you need safety, Ziggy off. If you need safety, I guess go Pacheco. But part of me would want to flip Pacheco and go get another player because I like Pacheco a lot. I would just explore other avenues. But I would say Pacheco does feel a little bit safer than Pollard. But I want to emphasize that that's about my line. I think if I had Pacheco, I would contemplate trading Pacheco for Pollard in a small little upgrade or something. So they're very, very close. And I like Pacheco around that territory still. I think people are underselling him big time. 8-man PPR, 6-4 after losing 3 straight. Need 2 running backs, Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones, Gus Edwards, Keaton Mitchell. You got to go Aaron Jones and Kenneth Walker right now, I think. I mean, Keaton Mitchell over Kenneth Walker, maybe we explore that later in the week. By Bijan. Picked up Mitchell off waivers. Do I start him this week? Let's address this later, my guy. Well, we got to address it tomorrow because Baltimore plays on Thursday night. Let's address that tomorrow. Appreciate you, Jaime. Thank you for the super chat. I think we'll have a little bit bigger grip on his workload and how we're feeling. Half PPR. Who can I get for CJ Stroud? Adams, Puka, Devontae Smith, Deebo Samuel, Tony Pollard. If you're loaded at quarterback, Breece Hall struggled. Aaron Jones, all attainable, my guy Tony, for that value. This is the Isaac. Trade Ingram for Ridley straight up. I would take a chance on Ridley for Ingram. Ingram is not somebody that just screams like, oh my God, you got to. I'm in a non-PPR. I got Achane, Gibbs, Mitchell, Kamara, Hunt, Ford, CD, Higgins, JSN, Laporta, McBride, Kyler, Allen. Need another wide receiver to go with CD. Hunt's playing well. Ford's playing well. Trade potentially one of your tight ends, or you got Kyler and Josh Allen. So one of your tight ends, one of your quarterbacks, one of your running backs named Hunt or Ford, and throw in Higgins to get from a QB or tight end needy team, specifically both if there is one. But one of those teams, and you just get a small little piece, bro, a little upgrade, a little tiny upgrade. You could even take like a, I mean, like Deebo Samuel. You could probably get Deebo for that. You could probably get a Devonta Smith for that. You could probably get a potential. I really do think Deebo is attainable for that. Adams might be for that combination of everything I just said. All three of them. Throw Higgins in. DJ Moore on the low. Ayuk on the low. Chris Olave is probably out of reach. Evans, Waddle, those are all potentially in the cards for that combination of three. But that's probably what I would do. I don't know that you're going to land it, but it's something you could try. I don't give up those other pieces, though. Trade B-Rob for Puka. I would. I mean, look, B-Rob needs to get his flowers. He's been playing great, but I would take that for sure. I would take Puka for sure. I think most people would. My guy. Appreciate you for your super chat. I don't know why I got that one back on screen. Chester, appreciate you. Dynasty standard, need a wide receiver and target Cooper Kupp, Waddle, or Puka. Need a wide receiver and targeting Cooper Kupp, Waddle, and Puka. Want to trade one of my running backs, Hall, Etienne, or Gibbs, or Pollard, Mostert. I'd probably try and trade Mostert in a dynasty because he's going to have no value in a year from now, or very little. Pollard, what is his value going to look like next year? If he fails this year, he's not going to have much value. So any one of those guys, but you're probably going to have to shoot for a Cooper Kupp who's older. Maybe Waddle. I would trade Pollard or Mostert for any one of those. So you're on the right track. ETN for Puka and Keaton Mitchell. I don't hate that trade, but it is a ballsy move. I think because ETN's a running back and it's dynasty, I might lean Puka and Keaton Mitchell. But that is a ballsy freaking move, guy. Full PPR, 1 QB league. Who do I start? Dak or Fields? I'd probably say give me Dak, bro. You can't sit Dak right now. He's playing Carolina. I'm not scared of that matchup. Bro, I definitely start Dak. Dak's on fire. You know, Fields has to earn his spot back if he even ever gets it from Dak. Dak's playing fire, bro. Is Ridley, K9, Pickens, Charbonnet too much for Hollywood and Pittman? Yeah, Hollywood and Pittman's not. I'm not trading K9. You're selling K9 way too low, Slayer. You're doing exactly what I warned you not to do, is get rid of him as if he's dropped off the face of the earth. Tell him, Smitty, don't make him go Draymond Green on you all. Hoosiers, appreciate you. Draymond Green's, he gets away with ridiculous things. He's such a easy guy to like or not like, depending on which way you're looking at it. Traded Kenneth Walker and Dell for Devontae Adams and Pacheco. I could get behind that one. That feels like it's got arguable sides and points to it, but I definitely like it. Should I trade Diggs and Monty for DK and Saquon? If you like losing, superhero, because Diggs and Monty are the two best players in the deal. So no.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
And of course I didn't disapprove you, but I disapprove of that trade greatly. Kind of offended by it. Was sent an offer. I give Tony Pollard or Jacoby, or for Jacoby, and a third round pick. If that's a third round rookie pick, then no. What are we doing? If that's a third round vet pick in next year's draft, it depends on how many keepers. There's a lot of variables. If this is like a equivalent to like a 7th round pick, no. If it's equivalent to really a third round pick, like maybe everybody keeps one guy and it's a 4th rounder essentially, I think maybe we're talking if you can't win. But Tony Pollard's worth more than a 3rd round rookie pick, or if that's like a equivalent to 3 keepers, 3rd round pick is 6th or 7th round. Like, what are we doing? Why are we giving away Pollard for nothing? 10-team PPR, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. Got Mitchell off waivers, acquired Eckler. Tua Fields, wide receivers, Amon-Ra, Waddle, Dell, Pop, Eckler's, Achane, Kyron, Mitchell, Chandler, 5-5. Love it. Let it ride. There's no one I even want to change out, really. I like your team a lot. I love Tua. I love Amon-Ra. Waddle, like, could you trade Waddle? Yeah, maybe Chandler and Waddle, like, maybe you upgrade it slightly. Devonta Smith, Puka, something like that. But other than that, I'm not really moving anything. I like that team. That team is straight fire. It's ready to rumble. Stand down. Kilpatrick with a $5 hauler. 8-2 money league traded Kyron and Dell for Achane. Team already stacked. Other league traded K9 and Sharby for Bijan. Both redraft. I don't mind the Bijan risk in that second situation, and I love the first one. Smitty approved. I love both those. Good job, my guy. Appreciate you very much with your super chat. Recovery, $10 hauler.
To the moon.
Moonshot to my man. Smitty, would you trade Diggs for Achane and Kirk? I think Achane and Diggs are actually really close, but the fair market value for Diggs is higher. I don't think you should be getting a tiny bit more than Kirk. Would you trade Diggs for okay, so you're giving him Diggs, and yeah, I think you should be getting a little bit more than Kirk. If you could get more than Kirk, like Keaton Mitchell, something we really, really are excited about, that'd be different. But I believe Diggs has a little bit more value than that. But that said, I mean, honestly, like, if this was sent to me, I would not hit reject. I would sit there and hover over it because quietly I want Achane more than Diggs, but the fair market value should be giving you more, and you got to almost stick to that mantra. Walker for Debo straight up. I'd take Debo, but I'd try and get a little more if you need a wide receiver, if you're stacked at RB. If this is leaving you like really dry at RB, I don't know that I even necessarily get rid of Walker for that. I think you deserve to get more. Fair market value for an RB starting running back, Walker, even though there's questions, is more than Debo. So I do believe in general you need to get something else. Traded Hollywood Brown and Stevenson for Kyron Williams. I don't like that trade. I love that trade.
You've just
Go do it live. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate you. We got Mr. Human with I don't know what the conversion is on this. Let me see. Christian, appreciate you. Oh, actually, Derek's first. Derek, pick 2, Gibbs, Achane, Mitchell, or Pacheco. Ricardo dropped a 50 watt. Ricardo, 50 watt on screen. I'm sorry it took me so long to see that, Ricardo. Are you still here, Ricardo? Josh Daniel with the $20 hauler. How did I not see these first? I'm sorry. That's my fault. $20 and $50 and $100 or whatever, they get help first. That's the nature of this corrupt world we live in. You guys are next. I'm so sorry about that. Derek, let me get Derek off screen here. Derek, appreciate you. Pick 2, Gibbs, Achane, Mitchell, or Pacheco. Give me Gibbs and Achane. Let it ride. That one's easy, Derek. That's light work, bro. That's absolute light work. Appreciate you guys dropping those supers. These right here from Ricardo. Let's get Ricardo's $50 hauler going here. Cooking, bro.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Absolute monster. Ricardo, you're still here, right? I'm sorry about the delay on that, bro. My bad, bro. Let me pull up my stream so that I can read the comments, because when I sort things over here, I can't see over here. Ricardo, we still here? Ricardo? Let me see if Ricardo's still here. Hopefully he still is. Dak Fields, Cooper Kupp, Evans, Chase, D-Hop, Dell, Quentin Johnson, Jacobs, Mostert, Monty, Ford, Ramondre, Spears, Kincaid, Goddard, trying to get Devontae Adams and Mitchell for Hopkins and Ramondre. I would be too. I like that trade. Achane owner isn't selling. He's being a no-trade Nicholas. What else can I upgrade? This team's got a lot of upside. I'd say Kupp, Evans is solid. Chase, you get phenomenal wide receivers. Dak's playing out of his mind. I mean, would I trade Dak for Mahomes or Josh Allen? I personally would, but that's me. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Would I throw in a Ford to get it done? Maybe. Would I throw in a Goddard? Maybe. Give them some hope at tight end, and you roll with Kincaid? Sure. I like the idea where you're headed. I think, even let's say you're holding... I mean, Monty and Jacobs are crafty. Given your wide receivers, that's crafty. To be honest with you, bro, I'm going and getting Mahomes, Hurts, or Josh Allen, and it's not going to cost you much. Ramondre or potentially Goddard, or maybe Hopkins, and then you just have that team where your receivers are off the hook, or you upgrade Evans into potentially Diggs or maybe even a Tyreek Hill. That'd probably be the guy I go after is Tyreek Hill or Diggs using Evans, and you're giving up a Ramondre, you're giving up a Ford, you're giving up something along those lines, but nothing big. But that's it. It's going after the quarterback upgrade or going after that Evans upgrade. Even though Evans is balling out, I still am tempted to upgrade him. Where Ricardo's still here. Good, okay. Josh Daniel getting the $20 hauler treatment as well.
Alert. Super chat alert.
That's my boy. Josh, Smitty, what's up, my guy? Need your help with a tough time. Having a tough time with this one. Would you trade my Eckler and Lamb for CMC and Metcalf? Jeez, bro. I would probably say give me Eckler and Lamb. Lamb's playing so lights out that like Eckler is closer to CMC than Metcalf is to Lamb. But chat, would the chat agree or disagree? Are you taking Lamb, chops, and Eckler or CMC Metcalf? Give me the Lamb side. But dude, that is super close. That's probably the best question we've had all week. PPR pick 2, Gibbs, Achane, Mitchell. Already got that one, Derek. Appreciate you. Give me Achane and Gibbs all day long, baby. Paul M with the super chat. Wanted to trade my Pollard Dell for Debo. And I think you need more. Like Pollard for Debo is like fair enough. You throw in Dell, bro. I'd rather have Dell and Pollard. Look, Dell is phenomenal. You know, you could say, yeah, it's straight up or don't give him an extra player. You're giving him way too much. 3 and 7 must win PPR. JT Rice for Achane plus Puka. Bro, Achane's better than JT, and Puka is as good as JT. Like, Lucas, take a lap for even asking this, and then pat yourself on the back as you run around the track and you say, got him, got him, got him. I got him good. Sing a little song. Sing the got him song, which we're going to create, by the way, because I just made that up and I like it. We're going to make a got him song.
Got him.
Got him, got him, got him all day long. Got him, got him, got him. Why I sing this song? You absolutely smashed him, Lucas. That's a Billy Madison or whatever. That's a, what's his name? Song. We're going to make it shine. What was that from? Trade London for Ridley. I would rather have Ridley. I'd rather have Ridley. It's arguable. Trade Eckler plus Josh Allen for AJB and Henry. I'd take Eckler and Josh Allen, but context matters here. You know, Eckler and Josh Allen is a boatload, bro. And I love what AJB's throwing down, but like depends on the quarterback situation. If you've got like a Tua, then it doesn't make as much sense. But I do love it. $10 hauler.
To the moon.
$10 hauler, my boy. Where's Draven? Oh, I got bad news, boys. Draven, let me see if I can put this on the screen. Draven quit fantasy football. I knew not to bank on Draven. I knew that there was, and I hope he comes back. I root for him to come back, but he quit. He quit. He sent this message, and he stuck to it because I haven't seen him since he posted this. But Draven bailed on the community, and it was the first sign of struggle. And his problem is he plays in one league, and so Draven bolted. And I'm trying to find this where this message is from Draven. Let me see if I can get my paws on it and throw it down here. I think it might be here somewhere. I got it somewhere. I saved it because I wanted to call him out and say, Draven, like, what are we doing here, Draven? You got to come back to the boys. We don't know what it is. You don't just tuck your tail between your legs and run away. Like, this is fantasy football. And, this is something where you're going to have some ups and downs, and this is what your family's here for, to help you battle through it. Where's this, Draven? I got it somewhere. Where is it, Draven? I know I have it here somewhere. I can't find it. Where is it? I'll have to look for it later. But, yeah, I was pretty disappointed when I saw it. I'll have to look for it. But he said, no name calling on him. I'm just saying. He said, he goes, I'm done with football. In the comments, he said, I'm done with football. I'll be back next year. He did say he'd come back, but he's done. He's done. He left. Draven, if you're out there, what's up, man? Call in. Don't quit on us. And he plays in one league. So bad news. I don't know if Draven's coming back. That boy, 4 and 6, 3 wide receivers. 3 wins. Sorry, 3 wins in a row. 2 QB, 3 wide receivers, 10-team league. Burrow, Herbie, nice. Gibbs, Pollard, Puka, Debo, Devonta Smith, Kincaid, K9. I like it. Any moves? I mean, you maybe trade McBride or you trade Kincaid, whichever gets you more, and maybe you upgrade Pollard. Maybe you go get that ETN. Maybe you go get that Achane. Maybe you go get that. You got Gibbs and K9. I mean, upgrade K9 or upgrade Pollard, into Achane. Would I trade Pollard and K9 for Achane and a doubted but player you like? You might even go that direction. That might be kind of crafty, but I like the team a lot. Don't panic on Pollard. Don't panic on K9. Don't trade them for pennies on the dollar, but try and upgrade them into an Achane, into maybe a JT, into an Eckler. Trade both of them for Eckler. Trade both of them for Achane and maybe get something. But don't panic. Don't be a panic Peter and make a bad move. Andrews and Devonta Smith for Adams. No, this is buying Adams way too high. You're buying Adams, Alex, at the value I'm telling you he might be at. You can't do that. People are doubting this man like crazy. You're giving this guy a hell of a deal, Alex. You're buying Adams at first round value, practically. This one's from Josh Daniel Smitty. What's up, my guy? Need your help having it. Oh, I just did that one. My $20 holler from Josh. Appreciate you, Josh. You're the man. Josh to the freaking moon. G Money with the $20 holler. Appreciate you, G Money. Mr. Human. Super chatting from Mexico, my guy. That's why the conversion is weird. It's $10 holler. $10 to the moon. My question was Kincaid and Chandler for Connor. That's even. I don't hate it. Look, Connor could bounce back. I like Kincaid a little more, but if you need an RB, it makes sense. Thank you for your super chat, Mr. Human. You're the man. G Money, hey Smitty. This team is 6-4, 12-team half PPR. Mahomes, AJB, Adams. Running back is Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, Kelsey, Breece Hall, Tank Dell, Watson. That's a good team. Thinking of trading K. Walker and Watson for Eckler. I would definitely do that. And if you have to give up more, you throw in more, good man. Because Eckler's worth more than K. Walker and Watson. And Watson's worth almost nothing right now. So you throw in a Dell, and you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Like, I love Dell, but I'd throw Dell in to make Kenny Walker turn into a Prince. Give him that golden slipper, pal. And that's how you do it. That's how you do it live. Paul, appreciate you. Trade Adams and Stevenson for Ayuk and Achane. G-Money, Achane, I forget if you had Achane, but Achane would be another player I'd go get. Trade Adams and Stevenson for Ayuk and Achane. Let me put it this way, bro. I want Achane more than both Adams and Stevenson combined. And that's coming from a guy that tells you to buy Adams. So you're absolutely killing that deal. Seahawks wide receiver schedule is Green Bay. K9 might be all right. Seahawks wide receiver schedule is in green. I've read Green Bay somehow. I don't know, my mind. Yeah, I mean, if they throw to him, that's why Slayer. That's why we say don't trade Walker for pennies on the dollar. He can recoup his fantasy value in more ways than one, and if they're down throwing, it could throw to him. Like we just said earlier, 60-yard reception, that can happen. That's why no one should panic on Kenny Walker, but it's being smart and trading him in spots where it makes sense. Tyler Smith, but good point. Tyler Smith, $5 from Tyler, 12-man half PPR, 6-4. QB Allen, Kyler, wide receiver Diggs, Ayuk, DJ Moore, Collins, Douglas, Sharps, Hall, tight end Ingram. Traded Ayuk, DJ Moore, and Kyler for JJ. Did I do good? In time, you will have done good. Yes, kind sir. But I think right now you're just in limbo, and it looks like we might go live on this later. It looks like JJ may not play this week, and I'm going to do a separate live tonight, I think, on that, and then do drafting. So if you guys want to draft with me tonight and join me later live, hit this link right now. I'm going to pin it in the live chat. Underdog Fantasy will double your first deposit up to $100 by hitting this link. The link will insert code Smitty for you. And I want you guys all to click that bad boy, sign up in advance so you aren't scrambling to try and join us in a live draft tonight. But I think I'm going to go live later tonight, do a JJ breaking news show, talk about whether we believe he's going to play, try and digest everything we can, scoop up as much of the later news as we can. Some of the news breaking right now is probably on some of it. I'll scoop up, I'll scour, and I'll come back and tell you what I believe to be what time it is in terms of JJ playing. Kittle for DJ Moore, I have McBride. I think you could get more than DJ Moore, to be honest, bro. I do like this trade to a degree with Fields coming back. But Kittle might get you that Adams or Devonta Smith, to be frank, bro. Also, Henry for Pacheco and Cooks. Not enough. I'm not buying Cooks at this value. Henry for Pacheco, I get it. If you make that swap and get Cooks out of it, I'm okay with it, but I don't love that trade. Those aren't players I'm targeting specifically in that situation. It's But Pacheco's not bad. You guys know I like Pacheco. He's a moon man. I like him a lot. But I just feel like, could you get a little more? Could you go get a cup right now? Teams are declining my B-Rob for a wide receiver too. Go get Keaton Mitchell. Go get yeah, I mean, I can't. You just got to throw more offers out there, bro. I mean, maybe you give up a little something. If you're just trying B-Rob straight up, maybe you do B-Rob in another piece and make it a bigger name player. Like maybe you're reaching too low. You add something, upgrade the player you're getting back, but add something significant. And at the end of the day, you're getting more value, but you're giving up a lot more than you intended. That's kind of the only way around it. You know, 1 for 1. A lot of people don't trade 1 for 1. You got to do 2 for 2. 2 for 2 will help mix it in and get more value on the other side of the table for him. Javonte, Christian Watson, or Kincaid at flex. Go Javonte this week. Good matchup. Sunday night football, right, against the Vikings. Is in Denver. $5 hauler from Johnson. Appreciate you, Johnson, dropping that 5 wad. Nothing attached to it. Make sure you guys throw your messages in there because by the time I get to them, your other messages are long gone. Trade Eckler and Dell for CMC. If you like winning, you're gonna go get our boy CMC. We like the Eckler, and you get like a CeeDee Lamb for a lesser wide receiver. That Eckler for CMC swap makes sense because you're getting CeeDee Lamb for a lesser wide receiver. But straight up here, I love Dell, but I'm taking CMC.
You've just been...
That isn't to say that Eckler can't hang, though. You know, quietly. I like it in that context. But Emmanuel, I was offered JJ for Achane. I'd rather have Achane right now. I mean, look, JJ, we don't know when he's really going to be 100%. The other thing to keep in mind with JJ, which you got to be totally careful of with JJ, it's a little dangerous. His bye week is coming up. And so you have week 11, then you have week 12, and then you have the week 13 bye. So if he's not ready this week, which it appears to be, that's the course we're on, he'll barely be ready for next week. They might even hold him out one more week, go into the bye, especially if they're winning, and then you don't see him until week 14. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. It's not a lock. It's just going to be what we discussed tonight and why there's some hesitation on when he's going to really impact your lineup. Traded away. So I don't know that I would trade for JJ. I'd rather have Achane by a mile. By a mile. Traded away Herbs and Pollard for Allen. In a context to where you're overwhelmed with talent, Smitty approved getting the bigger name player. Pollard, Andrews for Pacheco, JJ. I probably would rather have the JJ side, but you have to be built for the playoffs. Because again, for the reasons I just described about JJ, but I like that move from that angle. $5 from DeBolt, getting ready for playoffs. I traded Waddle for Debo. I like it. Looking to trade Keaton Mitchell and Debo. What should I look for? Keaton Mitchell and Debo for Cup. Keaton Mitchell and Debo for Puka. Keaton Mitchell and Debo for ETN. Keaton Mitchell and Debo for Achane. Keaton Mitchell and Debo for a huge quarterback upgrade in your grandma league. DeBolt, appreciate you. Hopefully those help you come back when you got more. Would you trade Jacobs for Pittman and Hollywood? I'd rather have Jacobs by a long shot, my guy. Doesn't mean I hate Pittman, but I'd trade Pittman high. Pollard, Higgins for DeAndre Swift. I'd rather have Pollard and Higgins. That's where, like, Swift is not in any better shape than Pollard right now. I do like him a little more maybe, but I think that can change. And, you know, I don't know. That one's tough. Chat, can we vote on Swift and Pollard and Swift? I would love to see what everybody's thinking on that one. $10 hauler from Fields of Dreams. Appreciate your $10 hauler to the moon on that one. Fields of Dreams 4 and 6. Fields, of course. Love, Chase, Olave, Dell, Dobbs, Dell twice. Genders. Genders swiftly. Achane, Foreman, Kincaid, Noah, Sharps offered Kyler for JSN. Plus what? Look, I like JSN. He's a potential league winner from the waiver wire, but I'm not acquiring JSN using Kyler. I'd rather hold Kyler. I'd rather trade Kyler for Kyler and something for Puka, Kyler and something. I'd rather trade Kyler for like Ridley and take that gamble. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that JSN's worth a trade right now. I think you got leverage. I don't know what some of that other question was, but I think I answered it. Do Hurts and Hopkins or DJ for Lamar and Devonta Smith? Hurts and Hopkins or DJ? I'd rather have Hurts and D-Hop or DJ Moore. I'd rather have the Hurts side. So I don't think I'm trading any combination for Lamar and Devonta Smith. Chat is all Swift pretty much. A couple Pollards, but it does say Swift. Which I don't blame. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence, to be honest. Thank you, Cam, appreciate you. This is Fields of Dreams one more time. Fields of Dreams got offered Bijan, Puka, and Amari Cooper for Chase and Swift. Woo! Give me Bijan, Puka, and Amari Cooper. Give me. God, what are we doing there, chat? What are we doing here? Can we get a chat vote on this one, please? Bijan, Puka, and Cooper for Chase and Swift. Maybe we go Chase and Swift here. Chase is so good right now, but Higgins out. Amari Cooper lost to Deshaun Watson. That's going to make Amari Cooper kind of fall into the wayside. Give me Swift and Chase. Bijan's too much of a question right now. I think I go ahead and go Jamar Chase side. Let's see what the chat votes. Keep an eye on the chat. James got offered. Thank you, Fields of Dreams, for dropping yet another super chat. You're awesome. Got offered Ridley for Brian Robinson. I'd rather have Ridley. If you need an RB, I don't mind either side. If you need an RB, Brian Robinson. If you need Ridley, I'd rather have Ridley. In a vacuum, I'd rather have Ridley. Chase vote. Sad for Amari, though. Chase, Swift, Chase. Yeah, Chase is getting done. Chase side by quite a bit. Jay Johnson 218 says Fields of Dreams is in his league. That's great. I love when we get people that wander in and they're in the same league. Start Debo or Keaton Mitchell at flex. Probably Debo for right now, but can we revisit this tomorrow before the game? I trade Rashad White and London for Achane. Guy said no. Well, of course he did, because that's a low ball offer, Scotty. You got to up your game a little bit. You're not getting Achane for that cheap of an offer. Zastrow, he's a top 5 overall player, bro. Did those guys even sniff like 5th round value? No. You got to offer better than that. Zastrow, but keep trying. I like where your head's at, but that's not a good offer. $10 hauler, Zastrow, 14 team, PPR 7-3. That's what some people say. Smitty, no one's trading in my league. It's because you offered something that like does an insult. Like someone might not even reply to your next trade offer if you send them that offer. You know what I mean? Like you can't. London and what was it? It was London and what was that? Was it Scott? I mean, Rashad White's playing well, but London and Rashad White, I guess Rashad White might be like I don't know what he'd be equivalent to right now in a draft. But yeah, I mean, London doesn't even move the needle. So it's like you're asking for a top 5 running back. You're offering up Rashad White, who maybe he'd be like a 4th rounder. I don't know. It's hard to tell where you go right now in a draft. But that's, of course, he said no. $10 hauler from Zastro, my boy. Zastro says 14 team, 7-3 team is Herbert, Hall, Bijan, Chase, AJB, Debo, Kincaid, Bench, Olave. It's a good squad. I mean, you got McBride, trade bait. You got Ty Chandler, trade bait. Trade away Olave and McBride for Jacobs. I could get behind that. That's a good move. That's a really good move. I don't mind that at all. Jacobs is worth trading in that situation. I like it. Achane, JT, all those guys are also ETN, all very, very capable. If you get a no there, go that direction too. One QB league, I have Burrow and CJ. Trade CJ for what? Adams, Devonta Smith, Debo Samuel, Breece Hall, ETN, Pollard and something. Like, if it's the house's money, essentially, is what you're doing, right? I'm not saying Pollard's the best choice there. I'm just saying, like, if you can't get anything, your trade deadline's coming, you just want something, you got to take a gamble. This is a $10 hauler, so it gets a moonshot from Jason. Jason, appreciate you. Tua, Achane, Pollard, Diggs, Amon-Ra, McBride, Olave, Bench, Najee. Najee got hit with a bad news. I offered Diggs and Hunt for Tyreek. Would you go Diggs and Najee for Tyreek? Najee's a backup. So, yeah, you do it live. I would go to your original offer Diggs and Hunt, and add in Najee. You know, like, Hunt's good, and keep him if you can. I mean, don't give away anything but yeah, Najee, throw Najee in. Part of me feels like the news of him losing his starting job and name is not going to be good for his trade value. But, dude, if you pull that off, that's a got him moment. QB Burrow, Kyler, ETN, Cook, Aaron Jones, Mitchell, Bigsby, Tyreek Hill, Flowers, Godwin, Pickens, Boyd, and he moves. Godwin's always a good sell. Pickens, I'm selling right now, given his attitude and everything. James Cook, I'm selling. So Godwin, James Cook for a slight. Like, you got Aaron Jones and ETN. You could go wide receiver here. James Cook and Godwin for Adams. Somewhere around that territory. Kupp, Adams, Puka, Hassan. Those are all the guys I'm targeting at that level. Heating up. Appreciate you heating. Amon-Ra plus Bijan plus Henry for Swift and Kelsey. A little too much for me. I'd rather have the Amon-Ra Bijan side by a little bit. I'm not saying it's crazy, but I would definitely not do that trade. Ivan, appreciate your super chat, my man. Just got Achane for Olave and Keaton. My team is now Fields. You smashed it, bro.
Got him.
Still love Olave, but that doesn't change anything. Achane, Eckler is a great team. Which wide receiver could I target in a trade? Maybe you trade away. You got Eckler, Achane, Gibbs. Maybe you trade away Hall and Bijan, and you go after, Kupp using one of them. You go after a quarterback upgrade into Mahomes using the other. You throw in Hollywood or Waddle to make something like that work, and, bro, you walk in. Or you go after two big dog wide receivers. Your wide receivers right now are, you got Amon-Ra, keep Amon-Ra. Waddle and Hollywood to go with each one of Hall and Bijan, and you're offering two. So one of the wide receivers, Waddle, Hollywood, with one of the running backs for a elite JJ or Diggs or Tyreek Hill, and then the other one for the other wide receiver. Maybe you leave your quarterbacks alone. You go with Herbert, and you go get two JJs. You go get two Hills. You go get two Diggs using the two players. You're trading 4 players for 2, and you're doing it live. You get that, it's game over. You might as well tell everybody, just send the Cash App. Cash App 80% of the winnings now, and we can start over right now and play a new format. Rolling with Burrow or Kyler this week. You can't sit Joseph cigar smoking Burrow. Kyler looks like he's good and getting better, but you can't trust him yet over Burrow, bro. Probably ever. Trade Bijan, DJ Moore, Amari for Puka, Evans, Ridley. Look, pros and cons to this one. I'd lean toward the Puka Evans side by a hair, but depends on your RBs. Eckler, Gibbs, and Achane are fine. I'm definitely not, in the business of needing to go get. Let me restate this, because you might have been doing the opposite. Traded Bijan, DJ Moore for Puka. Yeah, so I like that trade. Okay, so Puka Evans side, given your RBs. Yes, Benz, I'm okay with that. I mean, it didn't smash. There were some pros and cons to it, but got offered Mahomes, Pacheco for Harris, Hall, and Addison. Smash the hell out of that. trade.
You've just been
He who collects W's, I like that, bro. Oh, and also have Kyler as a backup QB, says Benz. Nice, Benz. Appreciate you. Did you miss my question, says Pierce. No, I didn't. And thank you for the super chat follow-up. Bro, we had a lot to talk about today. I'm getting through it. We have only 12 super chats left. We're getting through it. My Alave Javante for Achane. If you like winning. If you like winning. Got a $20 hauler from Solo. We got a Achane $50 wad. Achane, you're an absolute menace, you monster, you. Coming in strong like you always do.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Achane, what is going on, bro? My Pollard has officially been traded for Achane. Holy shit.
mashed potatoes.
Got him.
That's take a lap for him, bro. Let me repeat this again. Actually, let's have the computer do us the service of reading this amazing message from Achane. Let's go ahead and listen to this.
Ihanisu purchased $49.99 from Ihani. My Pollard has officially been traded for Achane. Thanks, Smitty. I'm 9'1" and he is 3'7". It's possible, people. It took a lot of work, but it got done, hands pressed together.
Oh, bro, you absolutely made my night with that. I love hearing that, Ihani, and you did it in $50 fashion. Like, what more can you ask for? Thank you for this one right here, Maya Lave and Javante, who I love both those players, by the way. For Achane, we do it live for Achane. We do it live for Achane. We do it live for Achane every single day. Solo, 20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Solo says, I love your live streams and need some help for a trade in the 12-man. I'm 7-3. I have QB Hurts, CJ Stroud, running back AK, Hubbard, Pierce, IR Achane. So Achane, AK, you're doing great at RB. Hurts, you're doing amazing at QB. It's one QB, I assume, so you're going to trade away Stroud in a minute when we try and make a move. Evans, Pittman, Devonta Smith. You're keeping Evans. You're keeping Devonta Smith. You're maybe trading Pittman and Stroud together. Maybe Evans, but Pittman and Stroud for Kupp. Pittman and Stroud for maybe even Stroud for Adams. But Pittman and Stroud for Adams. Pittman and Cooks. I'm sorry, Stroud and Cooks for Adams. Schultz. What does the tight end needy team in your league have at wide receiver? Can you send him Schultz? And by chance, is there a team that needs a quarterback and a tight end? You send them Schultz and Stroud for their Cooper Kupp, for their Devonta Smith, for their Puka Nacua, for their Devontae Adams, so on. Solo, get it done. What QB needy teams are there? What tight end needy teams are there? And are there any teams that need both? And you use that with the Pittman or the Stroud or the Schultz, and you do it live. Probably keep Kelsey. And you do it live. You absolutely dominate. You walk to the bank. Okay? James, appreciate you. Trade my Stroud and Brees for Josh Allen and ETN. If you like winning... Jeez. ETN and Josh... Look, I love Brees and I love Stroud, but give me Josh Allen and ETN. I like that trade a lot. I have Achane, and I love him. Good comment. But, well, there's no buts in that sentence, bro. But his playoff schedule is the most brutal I've ever seen. No, it's not. I mean, the word maybe not playoff schedule, but Walker's schedule is brutal, what I just showed you. Most brutal schedule I've ever seen against good defenses. But the problem with this analysis, though, Kile, is this guy is a 100 total yard machine. He is a matchup-proof player. He is catching footballs as much as he's running footballs into the end zone. You don't have to worry about matchup with him. I'm not scared of his schedule. I'm not scared of anybody when it comes to Devon Achane. Devon Achane's winning leagues. Don't be a scared Scotty, Kile. Don't trade him away. I'm telling you. Trade Connor for Drake London and Zach Moss. Probably not. Probably not, man. Moss isn't effective right now at all. And Drake London, keep Connor. Connor's on the rise. Maybe trade Connor for something different like Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Devonta Smith. Hope you're well, Smitty. Wide receivers are Lamb, Kupp, Thielen, Downs, Boyd. Running backs Eckler, Kamara, Pacheco, Ford, Laporta. Thinking of trying to get King Henry for Kamara, plus Pacheco or Dak. Trying to get King Henry using your Kamara and Pacheco or Dak for Goff plus Downs. What in the hell are we doing, Ethan? You're just trying for $10 hauler, first of all.
To the moon.
Give the man respect and flowers. He deserves it for dropping the 10 watt. But what in the hell are we doing, man? You're trying to downgrade into Derrick Henry using your Alvin Kamara and you want to give Pacheco? Or you thought you'd downgrade Dak Prescott for Goff plus Downs, who's not even effective or helping you at all right now? What in the hell are we doing, Ethan? That's an absolute take a lap moment. Disapprove. And nothing but love to you, and I appreciate you. You're always going to get honesty from me, Ethan, but this is not good. There's nothing good about anything that you just said. Maybe you meant reverse of everything you said, but absolutely no. Kenneth Walker, that's why you asked me, though. You want the honesty. I gave it to you with passion. You know how I feel. Don't take offense to it. But good God, my man. What are we doing? What in the hell are we doing? Kenneth Walker plus Sharps for Kyron. Do it live. Get Kyron.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Get Kyron. He's one of the best buy lows in week number 11. He's one of the best buy lows in week number 11. Period. Plain and simple. Jason from Cali, you've got literally like 29 seconds because I'm in the middle of a bunch of stuff. Go. 29.
I have a trade on the table. I give up Josh Allen, Justin Jefferson, Kincaid, and Keaton Mitchell. I receive Justin Fields, Devontae Adams, Achane to the moon, and Hawkinson. Which side you taking? I got it on the board right now.
Josh Allen, Kincaid, and who?
Keaton Mitchell.
Okay, for what? Achane?
For Achane, Devontae Adams, Justin Fields, and Hawkinson. I'm 4-6. The other owner is 6-4. We're both talking. We've been negotiating. We both think it's a good trade. I feel like I'm splitting hairs, so I had to call you. I know you didn't have the number up, but if I don't make this trade, I might not make the playoffs. And if I make this trade, I get Achane and Adams this week, with JJ being a question mark. Yeah.
So I'm just digesting it here. I'm just digesting it here. Yeah. The problem with, I love Mitchell. Why am I spelling everything wrong? Mitchell is a question mark, and you can't value him super high. He's one of those guys you want thrown in. Like, this guy's smart to throw Mitchell in. Part of me is like, dude, can you keep Mitchell out somehow? But Kincaid, solid. But Hawkinson is better. Like, it's a better. We love Kincaid, but you got to be real. So you're getting a significant upgrade there. Fields probably is a significant downgrade from Allen, but he could hang. We don't really know, but it is a significant downgrade. JJ may not play this week. Probably won't play this week according to current reports. And I think because of the week 13 bye week, he's very questionable to not help at all until week 14, but that could change in a snap of a finger. He could be, look at Fields. Fields wasn't expected to play yesterday, and now he's expected to play. So anything could change. But I would say like Achane and Adams, because
it makes it worth it, right?
Yeah. I would say take it.
You fucking take it, God damn it, Smitty. I've been freaking out. So,
bro, it's a family. Jesus. Family show, Jason. Good God. We all got families here. You know, some people are listening at work, and you drop 7, is monetization as well, Jason, which is actually the more important part of it. Ninja, you're live. Go ahead. You got 30. That's it. Ninja, and you're done.
Yeah. I'm here at work. So I'm trying to get ETN. Would you trade K9, Charbonnet, and Keaton Mitchell for ETN?
K9, Mitchell.
Yeah, K9, Mitchell, and Charbonnet for ETN.
Yeah, I mean, look, this sucks because I don't want you to trade Mitchell. That sucks that he's astute and on top of this, Mitchell situation. He must watch the show. Can you get Mitchell out of this trade?
Well, I mean, I just threw it on there because I just picked him up.
Why'd you throw it on there? Why'd you key him into Mitchell? Why would you throw Mitchell, potential baby Achane, into the deal?
I have not pitched the idea to him yet.
Thank God! Thank God! What can we throw in instead of Mitchell? Because he's probably not going to.
I do have Dell as well. I have Dell.
I hate doing that too, though. I don't know. Start off with the K9 and Sharps for ETN and just see what he says. And then when he wants more, we look at it. Does he need a quarterback? Do you have an extra quarterback? Does he need a tight end? You have an extra tight end. Do you have a London? Do you have a London, somebody you could throw in that you're not like? I don't love throwing in Dell and I don't love throwing in Mitchell. I'm not saying I wouldn't throw him in because I do want ETN more than K9. Let me just start off with that. If it required you throwing in Mitchell, who's still an unknown, he's still an enigma. I would potentially do it still, yes. But I would rather you figure out another way, is all I'm trying to say. All right, Ninja, I got to go. Appreciate you. Thank you, pal. Sebastian, you got 29 seconds. Go.
Hey, Smitty, you told me to follow up with you yesterday. I was in running back purgatory with Pollard and Walker. I was 8-2 in a 12-man PPR. I have Jettas on IR right now, but I managed to secure a trade. I just want you to review it. I have Kyler, and the deal was going to be Kyler plus Walker plus A.J. Brown, and I was going to get back Gibbs, Hurts, and Waddle. What do you think?
So, Kyler, Walker, and AJB?
For Gibbs, Hurts, and Waddle. Because I'm complete at every other position besides quarterback.
Gibbs, Hurts, and Waddle.
I got JJ and Smith.
And you're not sending Pollard, okay? So Kyler, Walker, AJB for Waddle, Gibbs, and Hurts. Okay, so let's call Gibbs a massive upgrade over Walker. Massive. Right? Yeah. I mean, maybe not massive. No, I shouldn't work. I shouldn't word it like that. But I'm very excited to get him in this situation. And then I'll probably say so Gibbs over Walker. AJB crushes in even more fashion though Waddle, and then Hurts crushes in almost equal fashion of AJB crushing Waddle. I think Kyler right now, like Kyler could get there, but so this is tough. I mean, you're like when you look at like the check marks that we got here, we got one AJB check mark, we got one Gibbs and Hurts check mark. Like you're in theory winning the trade,
isn't it?
But it's tough. I don't know what the chat is thinking here. Chat's saying ride Kyler, or one vote is. Vote for me on this, guys. I mean, the way I'm looking at it, it does AJB, that win over Waddle, is that so significant that it washes out the increases of Gibbs over Walker and Hurts over Kyler, because you're winning 2 out of the 3 sides over here. It's just a matter of the best player in the deal is A.J. Brown. So that is a lot of weight.
I managed to pick up Montgomery on my bench too for Ingram and Connor. So I have Devontae Smith too between Waddle, Smith, and Monty. I can always do a 2-for-1 and just get a top 5 at flex, either receiver or running back too. So that's another reason why I was thinking about doing that trade. A buy low like a Cooper Kupp or Puka, ETN even. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Someone's saying they can't hear the caller audio again. Hold on. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to fix the. I'm gonna have to fix the audio again. Give me some time on that, guys. But I don't know, bro. Look at the chat. Chat's saying hold. Most people are saying hold, but there are a couple Gibbs votes. I say Gibbs by a hair. The Hurts, Gibbs, Waddle side by a hair. Just because Walker's kind of a concern. Kyler, I mean, it's a great side, but I lean toward the Gibbs Hurts side. But that's just me. All right, I got to roll, Sebastian. Call in tomorrow. We'll discuss it more.
All right, thank you.
Balake, you got just a couple seconds. I'm not even going to give you a timer, bro. I got to go. So hit me quick.
Yep, sorry, this is going to be a little long. All right, so
it can't be long. It can't be long.
All right. Okay, well, anyway, I'll give you the quick version. I was offered JJ and Herbert for Mahomes and Hall.
JJ Herbert for Mahomes and Hall.
Yeah, I kind of like what I have. Again, I have Mahomes and Hall.
It comes down to JJ. The problem is, again, he may not play this week, and he may barely play or not be up to speed next week, or he could be lights out, but then he goes straight on a bye, and there's a risk that he doesn't even play until after the bye week, so comes in week 14. We're going to talk about this tonight, probably on a late live stream, but so maybe call in on that one. I lean toward the Mahomes Hall side. I lean toward that side just because of that reasoning, but call in tonight. Appreciate you. And then last one, Young, you got 29 seconds.
Hey, what up, Smitty? Just a quick question. I have Mitchell in the flex right now, Keaton Mitchell, but then also I got possibly Achane coming back this week. Should I wait until possibly Achane in the flex? Because I got Barkley and DeAndre Swift as my RB1.
I don't know what the question. Restate the question. Should you flex what?
Should I flex Keaton Mitchell tomorrow? Or should I leave that spot open for possibly Achane coming back?
I don't think you watched the beginning of the show.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, Young. I got to do it. I don't think you watched the beginning of the show. You're calling into the Achane show, and you're asking me if you should bench Achane. I got to do it. I got to do it. You can't. I can't let it go. I can't let.
Finish him. Call terminated.
Now let me also emphasize that I am not saying that Young's my boy, and hopefully Young doesn't take offense to that, but it is what it is. Everybody knows the rules to this. I'm not saying to bench Mitchell. Let me repeat. Young, I am not saying to bench Mitchell, but you can't bench Achane for Mitchell. Maybe you're riding both of them out there. All right. Phone calls are done. I got to go. I'm going to hit these super chats. Kenneth Walker. How many people we got in here? We got 466 people, 226 thumbs up. Not bad, but can we get the number to be a little closer? Maybe 350 would do. 226 in here, 466 eyeballs still in here. All right, Walker plus Sharps for Kyron. Do it live. Already told you to go absolutely smash that one. One game out of the playoffs got offered. Achane for my Cooper Kupp. Pretty even Steven, bro. Really even Steven. I lean position and need here to determine this. I'd probably rather have Achane, but it's very, very close depending on your position of need. My Olave, Javonte for Achane. You've
just been.
Somebody might have not watched the beginning of the show as well, but that's okay. That's what replays are for. Go watch it. Do it live. $2 hauler from Greens Point. PPR got JJ, D. Smith, T. Fergie for ETN, Andrews, Godwin. JJ, Devontae Smith, T. ETN, Andrews, Godwin. Pretty tough to evaluate this one. Like JJ, again, we're going to probably go live on that tonight. We don't know what JJ equals right now. If anything, ETN and Andrews is a tad bit safer until we know that. But there's a lot of high risk, high reward for the JJ side. So the JJ side could be better, but there's nothing that tells us that yet. Currently 5-5, 12-team, full PPR, QB, Herbert, running back Brees, Achane, Pacheco, B-Rob, wide receiver Diggs, Adams, Boyd, any moves. I love Diggs, love Adams, love Achane, love Brees Hall, Herbert, it's great. Pacheco, B-Rob. Maybe your opportunity is maybe to trade away B-Rob and Pacheco both for one slightly better running back, JT type of guy. Maybe you're upgrading Brees using B-Rob to a slightly better player, potentially. Maybe you're upgrading Herbert using B-Rob or Pacheco, one of the two, to get into a doubted Josh Allen right now, doubted Patrick Mahomes. That's the only move you can make. But you get that quarterback upgrade, it's game over, pal. Monty and Puka for Cooper Kupp. Perps, I saw you dial in a minute ago. You're the only one I'll allow to call in real quick, Perps, if you're there. And then the line's closed. Monty, or unless, a Marsman calls in briefly. Marsmen always break through. Once the monologue's over, even Marsman can't get into the monologue. The monologue, look, you call during the monologue part of the show, you're probably getting blocked. And some people do that. As soon as the show starts, they start dialing in over and over. That's the best way to get knocked off the phone line. During that first 5 minutes, is just blasting the hell out of the phone line. Monty and Puka for Kupp. Give me Monty and Puka. Some would say Puka over Kupp, so you're giving away a Monty there. Or whatever side. You get my vibe, whichever side you should be on. Trade JT for DK and Jacobs. I'd probably rather have DK and Jacobs. I'd probably rather have DK and Jacobs, yeah. That's the safer side. Achane with the $5 hauler. Burrow, Henry, ETN, Pacheco, Madison. Let me get to this one in a second. Perps, I can only give you 30 because I got to get through all these super chats, but what can I do for you?
Smitty, you think $35 a fab is enough to grab Achane off the waiver?
I don't know. I like I always say on my waiver wire show, I can't possibly know that because I don't know the history of your fab droppage. So it really
I'm going full load drop on it.
Yeah, I mean you got
some moron just dropped him to the waiver wire like 2 minutes ago.
He's probably gonna cry about it and say, "I didn't mean to do it. I sat on the phone and hit accept twice. Confirm yes." But you know what I would do? Go to trade, hit trade, right? Do you play? What's your league management?
Sleeper.
Okay, go to trade. See if you can trade for fab dollars.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, go buy somebody's fab dollars to equal so that you have. Well, you could look around and see what the highest bid anybody has. They might have like $75 available. But if someone's got 100, you got to make sure you have $101. Trade away somebody, bro. Give them Tank Dell if you need to, whatever. Think of it like a trade. Give away, literally you could give away a very, very solid player for the fab dollars. It's going to look like you're taking a bath on it, and you just scoop up Achane for that. Do it live, bro.
All right, I'll do it. Yeah, he dropped him and picked up Quentin Johnson.
Hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor. When you get this done, you get the fab dollars. You give up somewhat of a ridiculous trade for fab dollars. Land it. Pick up Achane, and I want you to report back when that entire process is complete, so someone could hear how this went. Okay?
No, I will, because I hit him up earlier in the night at the beginning of the show and asked him what he had to have for Achane, and that's the BS he pulled.
Yeah.
And then he's laughing in the group chat saying he wants to see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Blow the league up because he's 3-7.
All right. Appreciate you, bro.
See ya. Bye.
All right. Later. Yeah. If anybody's listening right now, that's how you do it. That's how you freaking do it. That is a phenomenal way to crush your league. Yep. It's my first time playing. Smitty is getting my W. Appreciate you, Abe. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Abe. That's how you crush it. I mean, he's going to crush that. You go trade away you could give up. Someone's not going to think about it, and they're going to go, he said he had, $30-something? So you're going to ask for like $70 of somebody's fab. I'll give you $70 of fab for using my DJ Moore. You're going to give me DJ Moore for $70? Okay. Except everybody, hey, look at what he did. Wait a minute. Why is he doing that? He just got Achane. The only thing you got to be careful of is doing it too early, and then somebody does it on top of you and gets, $102. and then you get screwed. So be careful of that, perps. Maybe pull it off last second in the middle of the night or something like that. I don't know if waivers processing this coming morning or something. Burrow, Henry, ETN, Pacheco, Madison, Foreman, DK, Pittman, Dell, Deontay, JSN, Kelsey. What do you do? What do you do? Henry, trade him away with DK. Trade him away with Pittman. Go after the big dogs on this list that makes sense, bro. Achane, Kyron, Kelsey, Kupp. Adams to a degree, multiple players together, quarterback upgrade, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You Burrow, you don't really need to upgrade quarterback, but Henry into an Achane using Pittman or DK, do it live. Deontay and Henry into a JT, I kind of like it it's a little safer to me. Achane, Henry, Pittman, and potentially even a Deontay, throw him in, easy peasy. You got Kelsey, so you're good. Hassan, that's what I'm doing with that team. Very, very solid squad. Look at that buy low list. Let me show it one more time. Screenshot it real quick so you have it, and you don't have to reference or go back. There it is. Screenshot it. Do it live. Appreciate you, Hassan. Hassan to the moon. Doing the CJ Stroud for Kupp live. Do it live, Solo. Do it live. Fantastic trade. Love it. If you get it completed, come back. We'll celebrate it. Average, and look, I like Stroud. I'm just saying, you get Cooper Kupp, you got another quarterback, you do it live. 12-man 5-5. QB Lamar, Goff, Brees, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Amon-Ra, Kupp, Waddle, Judy, Kincaid. Any moves to make package Goff and Waddle? Absolutely. Trade Goff if you can. I don't know if you can. Look, Watson going down opened up another potential QB opportunity, I imagine, in a lot of leagues. So Goff might look pretty good to this guy right here that just lost Watson or somebody else. So Goff and Waddle, go get Adams. Goff and Waddle, go get Puka. Goff and Waddle, go get Cooper Kupp. Goff and Waddle, I don't even know if you could get a Diggs right now, the way that, you got Cooper Kupp already. Brees Hall using Goff, maybe Goff, Waddle, and Brees Hall, and you go get yourself a monster running back upgrade. Bunch of different combinations, but 100% Smitty approved where your head's at. I like what you're doing. Keep at it. Use this buy low list as a guide if you need some big name players to go get, but make sure you're getting multiple if it fits the bill. Professor X, 8-2. You're doing things right. 12 team PPR Josh Allen or Jared Goff for week 11. Look, I know the Jets are a tough matchup. They really are. And I'd be stupid to laugh at this. You got the Chicago Bears. I don't know, man. Chat, are we really sitting Josh Allen against the Jets, in favor of Goff versus the Bears? Maybe we are. That is one matchup where maybe we consider it. Can I get a chat vote on that one? Part of my instinct was to say, start your studs. What in the hell are you thinking? But I just want to get a chat vote before I yell, start your studs. What the hell are you thinking? Just got offered Walker, Gus for Pollard. Take it. I would take that. Absolutely. Look, Walker's less risky than Pollard. So do it live. Niner Rick, who to drop for a kicker? Hunt, Keaton Mitchell. Come on. I hesitate to press the button because Hunt has scored 87 touchdowns in the last 6 games. So it's an understandable moment, hiccup, hesitation, if you will, a stutter. But at the end of the day, if Hunt and Mitchell are on waivers, bro, is Hunt going to get my 10 out of 10? Am I saying, just picture this right now. Am I saying, oh yeah, top pickup of the year, Achane, 10 out of 10. Top pickup of the year, Mitchell, 10 out of 10. Boom. Those guys have 10 out of 10 odds of being the best pickup of the year. He already confirmed, I think, that he is. And doesn't mean that 2 guys can't get a 10 out of 10. This isn't like a absolute ranking. It's a tier. And a 10 out of 10 of being the best pickup of the year, this man Mitchell lives in the 10 out of 10. If Kareem Hunt were cut, do you think I would put him anywhere near 10? The answer is no, Niner Rick. Not sending you on a lap or anything. I'm just trying to let you know that Mitchell's got that big time upside, my big boy. Go do it live, okay? Or not do it live. Don't make any trades where you're giving this man up. Appreciate you. Saul traded Swift and Watson for Achane. This is what Smitty. No one's trading Achane. Oh yeah. Why is Saul robbing everybody completely blind? Jeez, bro. Jeez, just absolute smashing. Ernest says, yo, Smitty, got Burrow, Wilson, Eckler, JT, Pollard. I like the team. Warren, Adams, Olave, really cooks. Solid. Roshan Smitty says Kentucky. What about him, my guy? What's this guy? Rushman says 10 out of 10 for warming the bench. Wow, Rush. You're going to put that out there, that receipt out there? That's bad, Rush. Rush, sometimes you're overly, I want to say overly negative, Rush. Like lately, you've just been a little overly negative. Where is that comment by Rush? Let me find that. Rush, that was a silly thing to do. Where is that? Here it is. Achane, a 10 out of 10 for warming the bench. Why would you do this to yourself?
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Yo, Smitty got Burrow, Wilson, Eckler, JT, Pollard. Good team. Olave, Adams, I like it. Andrews, McBride, and potentially Pollard for one better player. That ETN, that slight upgrade, that Achane, maybe because you got JT and Eckler, you go wide receiver shopping. So give me trade away Pollard and McBride. See if the owner has a Cooper Kupp, an Adams type of player, and you just go straight across position. If they don't want McBride, they don't need a tight end, then you throw in Ridley potentially. You throw in potentially Warren. I'm keeping Eckler and JT. You got Adams. I'm keeping Adams. Olave maybe even to upgrade into Diggs. Olave and Pollard for Diggs. Olave and Pollard for Tyreek Hill, who's been struggling a little bit. Yeah, Rush, you're a little negative lately. Just letting you know, like you get a little bit of a negative vibe. It's almost like you sit there and hover for something that you disagree with. You don't say anything else. You wait. Oh, Smitty said something. And that one, to pick that one was crazy. That one, like, why would you talk about Achane being a bench warmer? That, like, on this stream? I mean, I just don't understand the logic there. Dustin, not non-PPR, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver. Trade away Ridley, Henry, and Kincaid. Receive Chase. I'd rather have Chase. It's a lot to give up, but I'd rather have Chase, and it makes sense. You know, it's time. It's crunch time, bro. It's week 11. It's time to ride. Oscar, thank you, appreciate you. Trade my Brees for Devontae. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. You know, especially looking at your team, you got Kyron, Javonte's coming up, Diggs, Amon-Ra. Assuming you could start 4 wide receivers, but if you can't, then maybe you're trading Hopkins after this with Javonte to slightly upgrade your RB, and you're maybe not done yet trading. But I do like Adams, getting Adams into that lineup. I guess you could say, like, if you can't start 4 wide receivers, let's see. If you can't start 4 wide receivers, there is an argument to make that Hopkins and Hall is better than putting Hopkins on the bench, putting Adams in. And, you know, there's an argument. But if you could start 4 wide receivers, then you're fine. And if you can't, you still could make another trade. But you probably are wanting to make another trade if you make that move. I do like the move on paper, though, you know, in a vacuum. So I just make another trade. Not 100%. Let's see. Should I trade Diggs? Not 100% sold right now. That's why I think he's a buy low, and a lot of people disagree, and that's funny to me because I see a lot of doubt. I understand. Would I trade for Hill, give up a little more, get Tyreek Hill, who's also a tiny bit doubted? The Dolphins are a tiny bit doubted. Would I trade for Adams and a player? You know, get a Adams for Diggs and get Pollard for free, like something along those lines. Absolutely, Kenneth Walker for free. People are giving away these RBs to get that wide receiver upgrade. $10 hauler from Matt. Appreciate Matt with a $10 watt on screen. Matt, you're my boy, Blue. Matt Looking, how am I looking, Smitty? I'm trying to deal Kyler and Laporta for a high-end wide receiver. Yeah, CD Cup, you got a good team. Metcalf's pretty decent, though, as your wide receiver 3. Kamara, JT, Achane, you're fine at RB. Allen, you're fine at quarterback. I like your team a lot. I guess I am dealing Kyler and Laporta for, because you got Dalton, Kincaid. You're trading Kyler and Laporta. I mean, it depend. You're at the mercy of what that owner has that needs Kyler. I can't really. I could just tell you, like, you trade Kyler and Laporta for an Adams or a Puka or a Breece Hall, or, you know, even just get that doubted player. I mean, just go get Puka, like something along those lines. I love it. I love it. That would be a phenomenal move. Metcalf and Kyler, you know, but I think Laporta, and, like, let's say the Laporta owner or the owner that needs a tight end won't do anything. Like, I still would contemplate upgrading DK using Kyler, you know, Cooper Kupp type player. Put another player just like Kupp right next to Kupp right there. Adams. You know, or you just swing big for Diggs, bro. Swing big for Tyreek Hill. Metcalf, let's say this guy owns Tyreek Hill, or he owns Diggs, or he owns Chase. Metcalf, the quarterback, and the tight end. Swing for a top three wide receiver to go next to CeeDee Lamb. $5 hauler, trade Love and Ford for Dobbs. I don't hate that. You want to take a gamble on Dobbs, you believe in him, I'm fine with it. He's kind of exciting. All right, guys, I'll be back for a JJ trade. Appreciate every single, or JJ trade, a JJ live stream. I appreciate every single. We had 2,000 comments tonight in this. I had 2,000 comments in the live stream tonight. We've been live for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Beast of a stream. I said it on my IG. This is going to be one of the most aggressive streams we had all year. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes. Haney with the $50 hauler. Appreciate you so much. Solo with a 20 Wad, appreciate Solo. You are the man, the myth, the legend. G Money coming in strong with the 20 Wad on screen. G Money, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's see here. We definitely had another handful of $20 haulers. Let me see. If I forget anybody, I'm sorry. Josh Daniel with a $20 hauler. Appreciate you, my guy. This one's a 50 from Oscar. Oscar, you're an absolute monster. Appreciate you. Oscar to the moon. Oscar. We've got, let's see here. We got another. I know we got another couple. I'm just trying to find them. This one was the first one of the night, Sean Patrick. And I don't know if I missed one. If I missed one, I very much apologize. I'm trying to give everybody their proper shout out. Daniel, yeah, I think I got everybody so far. And then we got one more super chat of the evening. This is from Slayer. Swift K9 Sharps for Amon Ra. That's a lot, but if you feel like you have the depth to do it, I'm fine with it. But that is quite a bit. You're definitely handing that other player a lot, and you're not taking them to the cleaners. It's just a matter of crunch time, final moves. Can you do it live? You know, do you have the depth to do it? And then you're rolling with less depth and you're firing off. You know, with a lot of the bye weeks out of the way. Rock out, final caller, 30 seconds. Rock out, appreciate you.
What do you think about Chandler or Ferguson at flex?
Chandler, Ty Chandler or Fergie? I think I'd probably go. I'd probably go. Dallas is away, right? Carolina, that's a good matchup. He feels like he's like 10, 11, 12 points though, like Fergie, which is good if you need safety. Denver, Ty Chandler. Maybe Ty Chandler this week at RB. It has a little more upside, but Fergie's probably safer. So if the chat feels differently about that, can I get a chat vote? Are we going Ty Chandler starting against the Broncos at the running back position with Madison probably out? And you change directions if Madison's somehow ruled in or whatever, but Ferguson's safer. Which one are we picking? We picking the higher risk, higher upside guy and Ty Chandler, running back for the Vikings starting this week. Make sure you grab him if for any reason he's available in your league. He's He's right here on the screen. He's starting for the Vikings this week, probably. Or are we going with Fergie? We got some votes coming in here, I think. There we go. Christopher Smith, appreciate you, my guy. Ferguson, 1 vote for Ferguson. Here comes the votes. Rock out. They should be filing in here. Ferguson. Ferguson. You got 3 Fergusons. You got 1 Ty Chandler. We got 1 other Ferguson. 4-1. 4-1. I think you've heard the vote here. We got another Chandler. He's kind of coming back a little. Ferguson's safer. Maybe we address this tomorrow.
Score a touchdown every week.
You what?
I said Ferguson scored like a touchdown last 3 weeks. But
yeah. All right, Rock out. Appreciate you calling tonight. Later, pal.
All right. Cool.
I have Achane and Keaton Mitchell. I love the balls to the wall maneuver than if you're riding with Mitchell. It's a ballsy move. You're putting the cojones on the table with the Mitchell as a running back too, but I kind of like it. I've talked about it all week. See you all tonight. Appreciate you. Appreciate every single one of you. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Live whenever big news breaks. I was a little late on the, I was out and about today. I kind of took the afternoon off, and then the Deshaun Watson stuff certainly happened, which was ironic. I knew it was going to happen, but I just decided to wait on coming live because I would definitely explain it in full detail coming on this show. So we did it live here. Appreciate you all. I'll see you tonight. Don't forget Underdog Fantasy. That link is pinned in the live chat. They'll double your deposit up to $100. The minimum is only $10 too. So they'll double your deposit up to $100, or if you drop 10, they'll give you 10. We'll be drafting potentially tonight and talking JJ on another breaking live stream, just discussing JJ at the onset. See you all tonight.